say alright, alright. Do you wanna be my lover tonight? We can leave everybody else behind. Say alright, alright. Do you wanna see heaven tonight? Underneath those lights, you will look so beautiful. Do you wanna see the stars before they fall? See the stars before they fall. Do you wanna be my lover tonight? For all my life, it could be so wonderful. Do you wanna see the stars before they fall? See the stars before they fall. Maybe we should just run away. Never look back as the world decays. Say alright, alright. Nothing matters ever since the day you pulled the pin on my heart like a hand grenade. Say alright, alright. Do you wanna see heaven tonight? Underneath those lights, you will look so beautiful. Do you wanna see the stars before they fall? See the stars before they fall. Do you wanna be my love tonight? For all my life, it could be so wonderful. Do you wanna see the stars before they fall? See the stars before they
Tonight, the stars in the cars of the Rolling Thunder Gaming League tackle the Texas World Speedway. For their All-Star race, 3 transfer from the Open to fill in the rest of the field for the 2015 RTG All-Star race. When the dust clears and the smoke settles, who will be crowned the All-Star? We are fixing to find out next, live on DRTV.
And we welcome you to DRTV's live coverage of the Rolling Thunder Gaming All-Star Race. Tonight live on DRTV from the Texas World Speedway. The beautiful 2-mile high-speed oval that'll give us some great racing tonight here. Almost like restrictor plate style. You see these guys in the draft all night long and see speeds in well excess of over 200 miles per hour all night long around this D-shaped 2-mile Texas World Speedway. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. My name's Phil Lacasse. With me, as always, my podcast partners, Too Tall Todd Stanton, Mr. TV Time Rich Patton, down in the DRTV control booth. An awesome race we have on hand tonight is All-Star Night over here at Rolling Thunder Gaming. We're going to kick it off here with the All-Star Open, a 30-lap race for, I count 10 or 11 drivers, Todd. Top 3 are going to qualify. The anticipation is building, and I think the excitement is about to pick up.
Yeah, excitement in the air all around the garage area. Looking down, up and down practice times. Donnie Garrett, the Nature Boy, timed in with a 38.656. Chuck McClure right there behind him. He's no stranger to victory lane. Jason Klein in that number 57 machine. You got the slingshot Gary Mingus in this race. Rick Moon, Terry Balman. I have in taking time in practice. A lot of these guys, some of these guys are in the server, but they are already qualified here, Phil. So Brian Hogue in this race, Chris Harder Felix, David Lawson, Dave Robbins, and Jason Scheck aboard the number 17 machine right now took practice times, but that necessarily does not mean that they have not already qualified for the race. But there's quite a few drivers out here ready to get in to this open race and try to get into the All-Star race for the Rolling Thunder Gaming League.
It's going to be an awesome night. We have 10 guys, I believe, they're going to take the green flag for this 30-lap sprint race here. That'll set the field for the main event, the RTG All-Star race here a little later on. Main event's going to roll 70 laps, but this open will be 30 laps. Instead of 10 guys going to take the green flag, and it's going to be a star-studded night here at RTG here live on DRTV. There's a good field of guys, as Todd said, already locked in to this big main event that will be taking place here at Texas World tonight. And that list, the list is big. A lot of heavy hitters here. We're talking about guys like Mr. Excitement, David Day. Zach Freemow, Jeremy Jeffries, Chris Robbins, Wayne Osborne, Jeff Zupta, Dave Melson, Sean Prime, Wiley Cody, Tony Fox, Josh Batalik, Corey Deal, Marcio Bedoya, sorry about that, Marcio, Terry Balman, Ron Larkin Jr., Ryan Doucette, Dave Little, Jeff Crivello, Tim Knofsker, Rusty Little, Carson Krenz, Johnny Chapman Jr., and Stevie Minson. That's your list of guys that are automatically locked in to race the main event. But we're going to turn our attention to this 30-lap All-Star Open race. As Todd said, the top 3 guys are going to transfer into this big main event, which should make for an awesome night. 10 guys, 3 spots, and we're right in the smack in the middle now of qualifying for this awesome event here, the RTG All-Star race here. Down to the DRTV control booth to Mr. TV Time, Rich Patton. Rich, we've been on RTG. The month of August has been mainly spent over here at RTG for all these championship weeks. So now the big main event here tonight for this All-Star race. An awesome field of guys on hand already locked into the main event. And, you know, these 10 guys here that are in this All-Star Open, I mean, there's no small shoes here either. This is going to be an awesome little sprint race.
Yeah, I think I have to agree with you. This 2-mile D-shaped oval track. This first race, we're doing a double header tonight for those of you that aren't paying attention too much to the screens here lately. We got a 30-lap shootout in this first event, and as the guys mentioned a minute ago, the top 3 so far are scheduled to advance to the final, which is going to be the main event. That's going to be a 70-lap run here at Texas World Speedway. So going to be interesting, looking to have a pretty decent-sized field in the main event tonight once these guys get this 30-lap shootout going. And right now we can see some qualifying time. So far we got 9 on the board for qualifying, and currently Rick Moon is holding the top spot with a 39.904, guys.
Yeah, looking at times coming on the board. 7, or the 07 rather, Rick Moon, currently the top of the leaderboard, as Rich had said. Good time of a 39.904. That is screaming around this Texas World Speedway with 1 lap qualifying. Dave Robbins going to clock in second quick, a 39.923, a 39.924 for third place. Brian Hogue, I believe that's going to be your top 3 of these 10 guys that are going to take the green flag here for this All-Star Open. So we've got just about, looks like they're going to have a full 10-minute happy hour session before we get this thing underway. So Todd, the anticipation is building. It's 30 laps. It's going to be a sprint race. I can't imagine if you're somebody like a Chris Hardefielax, a David Lawson, those guys starting at the back half of this 10-car field. You're going to have to not only get up to the front, but you're going to have to try to do all you can to get in those transfer spots.
You're going to have to do all you can. Texas World Speedway, a drafting track, especially with these trucks, Phil. I know you've spent a lot of time out on the Texas World Speedway. I've had a lot of difficulties trying to get around this track. It's a difficult super speedway. I call it a super speedway. It's a difficult super speedway, especially in the trucks, to actually go through here and try to gain some ground. It's difficult to navigate these corners, and these trucks are going to show how well they can do it here this evening. All-Star race, All-Star Open. So we're going to see some All-Star moves, I believe, Phil.
Yeah, should make for a really awesome night here at Rolling Thunder Gaming for this All-Star Open, the All-Star race. It's All-Star night here on DRTV. We'll see if we can't get a word with RTG Zone. One of the owners over here takes really good care of us anytime we all come over here. That being Terry Balman. Terry, Phil LaCasse of DRTV, an awesome field. You know, we had an awesome event here, this RTG All-Star race. A big field of guys locked in. It looks like a 10-car field to this All-Star Open. You know, tell us a little bit of the background of this event. You know, what can we expect here this evening?
I think this Open will be a good race. I think good chance it'll go caution-free. We got a 3 times pit, so they're going to have to pit 1 time. The All-Star race, that's going to be incredible. That's the best speedway races from RTG. To get into that, you had to have either won a race or a championship or both on our Monday or Wednesday series.
Well, like you said, you had to qualify through winning a race or a series championship, you know, any kind of qualifications here. In this 10-car field we have for this All-Star Open, I mean, this field is loaded. You've got guys like the Slingshot Gary Mingus, David Lawson, the Nature Boy Donnie Garrett, Brian Hogue. I mean, this 10-car field is as stacked. And I think you're absolutely right that this is going to make for one exciting race. Now, the top 3 guys are going to transfer. how much drama do you think is there going to be around that top 3 position?
Oh, I think they're going to be fighting hard all 30 laps for that top 3 spot. It's going to be good.
Now, I know you've taken some laps out there on the setup tonight and, all around this Texas World Speedway. Tell us a little bit about, because you said they're going to have to make one pit stop, which will most likely, with this field, go under the green flag conditions. Now, how much of a transition is that coming off those banks at that high speed and getting it woed down to pit road speed?
Well, you got to be a little careful getting off the track onto the apron. You can make that transition safely. You can come into the pit pretty fast.
Well, Terry, we appreciate a few words with you here. About 5 minutes or so before we get this All-Star Open 30-lap sprint underway. But before we let you go, any predictions for this race? Got anybody you think predict maybe who the winner of this thing may be?
They're all good drivers. I think any one of them's capable of winning this. And before I go, I want to give a big shout out to Sean Prime. He put this event together and put tons of work into it. And just a big thank you to him and all the RTG owners and admins for putting this together.
Well, I couldn't agree with that anymore. Well, Terry, on behalf also of DRTV, thanks again for having us over here this evening. And I think we're in for one really awesome night. So good luck tonight. Hope to see you on the track. I know you're locked in for the big main event, and we'll hope to root that 69 on tonight. Give it a good ride.
Thank you, and I always appreciate your hard work, and you guys have a good night, too.
All right, Todd. Terry Balman, one of the owners over here at RTG, and words can't be said enough how much to these guys, when we come over to RTG, Rich and you and myself, these guys are first class. The information they provide us is just top notch, and, not enough can be said for all the guys over here at Rolling Thunder Gaming.
No, not enough can be said about these guys. They give us all kinds of information that we can use as broadcasting tools. Great league to race in, too. Phil and I actually race on Mondays and now going to be Wednesdays over here at the Rolling Thunder Gaming League, and we're going to make our presence known, hopefully not by wrecking out like Phil and I normally do when we're around one another, but Rolling Thunder Gaming, guys, it's awesome. It's a place to race. It's one of the best places to race at. I'm going to tell you that, Phil.
I couldn't agree more. You see, we're out here in the trucks tonight. CWS 2015 mod, great mod here, and I know that's the home mod here every Monday night at RTG, the Bare Bones Racing Series, and I know Todd and I raced that series. It's pretty much almost full-time last season, and it's some of the best racing you can find out in this NASCAR Racing 2003 community. I mean, just first-class racers, competitive. I mean, every guy that comes into this server night after night, any one of them is capable of put that thing up to the front, and I know Todd and I, we do our best over here. It's a pretty stacked field, as you guys have seen here these last couple of weeks here on DRTV. But it's an awesome, awesome field week after week, and not enough can be said for all these guys over here at RTG. Rich, what can you add?
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, these guys have their hands full. They've had a lot of things going on. DRTV has been a big part of these last couple of weeks with RTG. We went ahead and got their broadcast races done for most of their series, if not all of them. For their series finales, and then now that these seasons are over and they're coming, into their off time for a week or two, I think they may start up in another week. I'm not sure. We'll have to get some more information from them as we go on tonight. But most definitely, these guys have been busy. A lot of big finale races going on. I just got the cue that they're restarting the new seasons coming Monday. So it's nonstop over here at RTG. This big All-Star race is all about the drivers. These are the top drivers. These are the guys that have made championships in series. These are the guys that won special events and whatnot. So this should be the cream of the crop, guys.
I think you've hit it absolutely on the head here. We're about 3 minutes away from getting this All-Star Open under green flag conditions here. About 3 minutes, and when we get off the grid, we'll reset the starting lineup here for this 10-car field. But we're going to be joined up here in the booth by RTG's own Sean Prime. Sean, good to talk to you again. I know you've put an awful lot of work in here these last couple of weeks, getting everything ready to go and test and tuned and all these guys ironed out for this awesome All-Star race here tonight. Big hats off to you, and I'm sure you're tickled to death here. 10-car field for this All-Star Open, and looking up and down the roster, it's heavy hitters right here.
Oh, gentlemen, how are you? Yep, it's a late Saturday night. we've got a whole lot of great drivers here, and looking for some fun racing, and yeah, a lot of work. Yeah, we put this concept together, but you know, it's the guys here that do all the work. It makes everything easy. They're the ones who deserve the credit. But we're looking forward to a good, fun night.
Now, I know we're going to see you here a little later on in the big main event, the 70-lap All-Star race, but let's turn our attention down to the All-Star Open, a 30-lap sprint race here around this Texas World Speedway. 10 guys going to take the grid here. The top 3 are going to transfer. How much craziness do you think you're going to see around for that 3rd spot come down to those last 2 laps?
Let's see. On one hand, it's a big, wide open track with a really great multi-groove proven setup that's just put on heck of a shows. That's why we've got this one here for you. But on the other hand, you said it. 30-lap shootout, go or go home, 3X, kind of just like the real All-Star race. There's going to be a lot of guys with a sense of urgency trying to get there.
Now, Sean, you've won a lot of races in your day. We've seen a lot of them here on DRTV. Now, I got to ask you here. You've been on this setup here. You've got a little bit of practice, and you said we're going to see here a little later on. I asked Terry Balman the same thing. What is that transition going to be like, getting off of the racetrack onto pit road if these guys have to make a green flag pit stop, or even if you guys get to a green flag pit stop during the All-Star race? How much of a tricky situation is that going to be, getting off from over 200 miles an hour down to the speed limit, which I believe is 70?
It's actually 65, but I'll tell you, it's a nice transition. You can go in there, you know, 2, even 3 wide if you do it right. You just have to be careful of 2 things. There's, of course, grass there and a nice hard pointed wall when you enter pit road. And if you get a little too far to the right, when you're about halfway down pit road, you'll see the old Victory Lane here at Texas World Speedway. Well, that kind of also works as a ramp, and you can jump that.
Well, you sure can. I think we got an awful lot to keep our eye on tonight. Well, Sean, a big hats off. This event is going to be an absolute incredible night here from the Texas World Speedway. On behalf of Todd, Rich, myself, thanks for having us over here tonight, and good luck. Put on a good show. I'm sure this All-Star Open is going to be awesome, and that big main event later on, we'll have to look out for that number 015 for sure. So good luck, buddy, and thanks again for all your hard work.
Thank you guys. You guys do a heck of a job. We are very proud to have you. Thanks again to RTG and Too Slow Graphics for sponsoring this event. Enjoy the Open. Looks like they're just about ready to go. Have a blast, and I'll see you on the other side.
All right, guys. Sean Prime, one of the guys over here at RTG, put an awful lot of work into getting this awesome event here tonight. About to get the All-Star Open underway. We're about 30 seconds to go from putting these things on the grid. But real quick, before we get to green flag, let's start on to Rich to thank all the sponsors and everybody responsible for getting us here tonight.
Yeah, most definitely, guys. RTG is the name of the game here tonight, RollingThunderGaming.com. If you're looking to find out more information about what these guys do over here, they pretty much race Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I believe, are their normal deals. The guys will correct me if I'm wrong, but these guys are quite busy during the week. A lot of different series going on, trucks, cars, you name it, big tracks, small tracks. RTG's got it all. There's several leagues built into their home, and it's a big, big deal over there. And I believe what I heard earlier talking is they got 700 plus members right now or something. So the game is still alive. These guys got it going on. If you're looking to get involved, head over to RollingThunderGaming.com. Next up on the docket, one of the main sponsors tonight also is Too Slow Graphics. You're going to find them homing themselves or housed over there at RollingThunderGaming.com as well. Too Slow Graphics, tonight's sponsor for this big event. Of course, we have a double header tonight. We mentioned this earlier today or earlier on the broadcast, the RTG All-Star Open, which is what's about to begin now. And then following right behind this, once we get the winners of this one back out on the track and get everything reset, we're going to go to the big 70 lapper around this big 2-mile track, the RTG All-Star Race 2015. So going to be exciting. The cars are getting on the grid. We'll try to get through these a little quicker. Obviously, we can't do this without NRT game servers. Dave over at NRT is going to give you all the customer service you need, whether it's web servers, game servers, you name it, Dave has got it. So go check them out at NRT game servers.
Drivers,
And of course, none of this
start
wouldn't be
your
possible
engines.
live for you guys tonight if it wasn't for ourselves, DRTV Sim Racing Television. If you're looking to get your league out on the internet, live broadcast, check us out. You can find us at the home of DRTV at drlracing.com. Once again, that's drlracing.com. These 10 cars are on the grid. They're starting to follow a pace car around. I'm going to send it back up to you guys, and I think we're getting ready to go racing.
Oh, we are about to go racing here. 30 laps around the 2-mile Texas World Speedway makes up this RTG AllStar Open. 3 cars to transfer into this big main event here a little later on. But first, we'll turn our attention. 30-lap shootout, 10-car field, and I'm going to throw it to Todd to get straight into the starting lineup.
And now your starting lineup for the All-Star Open here at Rolling Thunder Gaming. Starting on the pole, driving the Chevy Silverado Harley-Davidson sponsored machine, the number 07, that's Rick Moon. And outside of him is the number 96, that's Dave Robbins.
Third starter for the All-Star Open will be the driver of truck number 41. That's Brian Hogue. On the outside in row number 2, the number 77, that's the Nature Boy, Donnie Garrett.
Next row back, starting in the 5th starting position, that's the number 57 in the Insomniac sponsored machine, that is Jason Klein. And outside of him, that's a Slingshot, that's the number 12 of Gary Mingus.
Chuck McClure is going to bring the 017 off from the 7th position tonight. On the outside of row 4 in the 8th starting position, the 112, that's Chris Hartofelax.
Next row back, that's the driver in the number 18, that's David Lawson. And outside of him should be the number 17, that's Jason Shack.
Jason Shack's going to roll off 10th to round out the field. 10 trucks, 30 laps, green flag in the air. As Todd would say, the loud pedal is down, and Rick Moon's going to bring him to the green flag. He's on the inside. Looks like he'll break out to the early race lead. He'll slide up high as they hit turn 1.
Yeah, Rick Moon right now currently in the lead. Here comes Brian Hogue down to the bottom with the number 41 machine, the 96 of Dave Robbins stuck over on the top side. It's called that group around this speedway. But right now, the way the lane, it's going to be the bottom side. These guys get up to full song. You're going to see a lot of these guys go to the bottom, Phil.
Yeah, it looks like bottom is going to be that quick way around just out of the interim here. Rick Moon out in the race lead in the 07. Brian Hogue has put the 41 up into that 2nd spot. Jesse Klein there, the 57. He's roped the 3rd. The battle is for that 3rd spot. Dave Robbins, the 96, trying to fight back along that 75 of 57 of Jesse Klein. Almost 3 runners hit turn 1. They'll fall back single file. Now the race is for 4th. Here comes Donnie Garrett.
Yeah, the Nature Boy, Donnie Garrett, down on the bottom side with the number 77 machine. He's trying to take over that position. Number 4, he's going to be able to do so, I think, down the back straightaway. Also under fire for the 2nd position is the number 41 of Brian Hogue. The 7 of Jesse Klein is on the top side. He is right now sitting on the hot seat in that number 57 machine. He's trying to work the bottom with Brian Hogue. He's trying to take over that 3rd spot.
Yeah, race is for 3rd as they put lap number 2 up on the board, all chasing race leader Rick Moon. The battle for that 2nd spot, Jesse Klein of that 57 is up in that high lane. Dave Robbins, or Brian Hogue, out of the 41 there. Donnie Garrett, the 77. They're all chasing race leader Rick Moon side by side for 2nd as they exit turn 2.
Going to have to pay attention to that 3rd place battle right now. 3rd place is the hot seat. That's where you're going to transfer to the All-Star race for the Rolling Thunder Gaming. And that's the fight right now between the 77 of Donnie Garrett and the 57 of Jesse Klein. They're still side by side, Phil. There's all kinds of guys on the outside looking in right now. Going to make it 3 wide there on the bottom. It looks like Chris Hartofelax. Yeah,
Chris Hartofelax in that number 112. He started off in that 9th position. He's now going to find his way up into 4th, making that charge to that top 3. The race now is for that 2nd position. Here comes Donnie Garrett. He's going to be down low under Brian Hogue. Looks like he's going to make that pass work, Todd, as they exit turn 2.
Almost, it looked like a slide job maneuver that you would do on dirt track racing. The 77 of Donnie Garrett moves into that 2nd spot. Here comes Jesse Klein back down to the bottom. He is fighting for 3rd with the 41 of Brian Hogue. Hogue on the top side of the speedway. The 57 of Jesse Klein working over the bottom side. They almost touch coming out of the corner. Here comes Donnie Garrett down to the bottom side. He is going to challenge for the lead with Rick Moon.
Donnie Garrett to the low side of Rick Moon as they enter turn number 1 on lap number 5. The 77 down low, the 07 up high. They've got help behind him. Brian Hogue is going to try to push Rick Moon up on that outside. Here comes Jesse Klein in that 57. He's going to try to get up on the bumper, rather, of that 77 of Donnie Garrett. A drag race for the lead as they hit turn 3.
Yeah, You're still looking through. Brian Hogue right now running in the third position. He is your hot seat driver here to transfer to the All-Star event. No, it's not Brian Hogue, excuse me. I kind of messed that one up. It's Jesse Klein in that third position in the number 57 machine. The cars, green cars, kind of messed me up a little bit here tonight. So it looks like Rick Moon back to the lead in that 07 machine. Now Donnie Garrett running in that second spot, but he's coming under fire from Jesse Klein on the top side. The top side starting to work, Phil.
Top side maybe starting to work in a little bit, but further on back, Dave Robbins in 96 has been able to fight back into the top 5 with help from Chris Artefelax. Them two have been in perfect step here. They've worked their way up into that 4th position as they hit turns number 3 and 4. Dave Robbins now looking to make the move for 3rd. He's underneath, I believe that may be the Brian Hogue machine as they exit turn 4.
Yep, it looks like Dave Robbins underneath the 57 and Jesse Klein in that 57 machine. The 57 and Klein going to come down and close the door on the number 96 of Dave Robbins. Klein did not want to give up that 3rd spot. Now he's battling for that 2nd spot with the 77 of Donnie Garrett. Garrett stuck all by his lonesome up on the top side right now. Nobody helping him fill down the back straightaway, and Donnie Garrett, the Nature Boy, starting to drop through the field.
Now early on in this going, Todd, as we're working lap number 7, now going on to lap number 8 is the race for 2nd into turn number 3 and 4. Dave Robbins has brought the 96 under Jesse Klein. Looks like, Todd, from the early go here, these first 8 laps, that low side looks to be the fast way around. Be one of the many things we're going to keep an eye on here today at Texas World Speedway. But looks like top side without help is not going to make much hay as we say that. Here comes Dave Robbins. He's found the low side of Rick Moon, and he's going to make that assault for the race lead off of turn 2.
Yeah, Rick Moon in that 07 machine, he shuffled up to the top side of the speedway, but now he's got help from Jesse Klein in the number 57 machine down the back straightaway. They're side by side. Dave Robbins, Chris Harder-Felix, Jesse Klein, and the 07 of Rick Moon. Those guys are side by side, 1st through 4th, and right now nobody's taking a mile yet, but we're going to have to see what happens here in 30 laps. We're going to see the checker flag. We're going to see even more excitement when that checker flag comes out, I think, Phil. But right now, the race currently is being led by the number 96 of Dave Robbins. Chris Harder-Felix now to 2nd. Battle for that 3rd spot. Rick Moon has it. But the number 12 of the Sunshine, Gary Mingus wants it. And he's down on the bottom side, and he's going to take that over from the 07 to Rick Moon. Now here comes Rick Moon back, firing back on the high side, Phil.
Yeah, Rick Boone definitely looks strong out the gate here. He put it on the pole here for this All-Star Open. He's got an awesome shove there from Jesse Klein in that Insomniac Racing number 57, shoving Rick now up alongside 2nd place runner Chris Harder-Felix. They're going to be side by side for 2nd. Right behind them, you see Gary Mingus, the slingshot, in that number 12. He's had a good ride of it here early on, but looks like, Todd, he can't find any dancing partners as he's being put 3 wide as they hit turn number 1. Jason checking that 17 with the big pole shot move down low. Gary slid up the hill a little bit, now into the outside wall. Tough break for Gary Mingus. Looks like he'll keep control and we'll stay under the green flag as they're down the back straightaway.
Yeah, tough break for Gary Mingus. Mingus hit the wall hard. He pancaked that right side in that number 12 machine, so we're going to have to see how much damage that's going to play here for the number 12 machine. He's dropping off the pace in the number 12. So Gary Mingus, tough break for him as he was running inside the top 5. Like he was trying to run it real hard and trying to keep up with some of the leaders, and he was at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Now, Rich, we just seen Gary bounce the number 12 off the wall. It's moderate damage tonight at these high speeds. I mean, I think they're well excess of 200 miles an hour down these straightaways. How much do you think a hit like that for Gary is going to upset the handle of that truck?
I personally think it's going to be a do-in for him tonight because this track is a lot of drafting based. Even though it's only a 2-mile track, it's still a decent-sized track. There's plenty of track out there side to side. There's plenty of straightaways to run on. And the draft is going to play a huge game. And I think now that he's got the right side of that truck with some damage on it, and he's dropped back so far, I don't know that he's going to be able to catch these guys unless maybe a caution comes out or somehow he gets lucky to pick up some time. But if he doesn't get tucked back in behind them trucks, I don't believe he's going to have a shot to get into that main event tonight.
Gary's dropped back to the 9th position, 2.5 seconds off the race leader. Dave Robinson in corner number 3 and 4. Dave out there in the 96 with the race lead. Chris Harder-Felix scored a 2nd last time by riding right there in step with that Dave Robbins machine. And Rick Moon, Todd, has been able to keep it in that 3rd spot. Looks like it's been all single file through the top 5. First move to the outside. Looks to be that 57 of Jesse Klein. Looks like he's now going to be worked over by the 41 of Brian Hogue. That's racing for 5th as they hit turn 1.
Yeah, I've been watching Chuck McClure in the 017. He's been chugging along. Chuck McClure now moves himself into the 4th spot. He made that move on the number 57 of Jesse Klein. Here comes Chuck McClure down to the bottom side of Rick Moon. He's trying to take over that 3rd spot. Rick Moon on the hot seat right now, Phil. Chuck McClure wants to get into the race. I know how bad any of these drivers would want to get into the All-Star race so you can crown yourself the All-Star of Rolling Thunder Gaming. That's a pretty prestigious title here over here.
Well, we've seen Chuck McClure time after time over here on DRTV. Always one of the better guys on these bigger tracks like a Texas World where there's high speeds and drafting come into play. So no doubt that Cartoon Network Chevrolet number 017 of Chuck McClure may be a factor before this thing is out. Top 3 still out there. Dave Robbins, Chris Hartofelax, Rick Moon, Chuck McClure, Brian Hogue, your top 5. 6 through 10, Donnie Garrett, Jesse Klein is 7th. Jason Scheck is up to 8th. David Lawson is 9th. And a slingshot, Gary Mingus. That's your 10-truck field. The top 3 are going to transfer. We're 1 lap shy of the halfway marker. All chasing Dave Robbins at number 96. Single file through the top 3 into turn 1.
Yeah, green flag pit stop's going to come up at any moment, Phil. We're about inside that window. We're going to have to see how tricky that's going to be here at the Texas World Speedway. And the 96 of Dave Robbins bounces it hard off the outside wall. Robbins now got damage on the right side. And then the 96 machine, that's going to be a tough break for him. Now Moon into 2nd. The 17 of Chuck McClure to 3rd.
17 of the 017 of Chuck McClure now up to that 3rd position. As we're going to turn our attention toward pit road here real shortly. I believe you may see somebody coming off the speedway this time around. I saw a pit marker go up, I believe, for the 17 of Jason Scheck. Jason has pulled that Sears Diehard Chevrolet onto pit road. Now we'll be very interested to see here with at the halfway marker, Jason, the first one to pit road. We'll see if there's any tires on the 17. I see a right side tire change. There's right side tires in the air for Jason Scheck. Get that thing full of fuel. Woodlake swing on the left side. It's going to be a 4-tire pit stop for the 17 of Jason Scheck. Todd, interesting strategy play. He was 3 seconds off the pace back there in 8th. We'll see if we can't chase them down, as I believe all the leaders, Todd, including Chris Hartofelax, have found pit road.
All the leaders down on pit road. Busy pit road now. Hartofelax, the 07 of Rick Moon on pit road also. Chuck McClure on pit road. I'm covering Hartofelax. Hartofelax rolls down into his pit stall, did not slide through. Perfect pit for him so far. Right side tires going on. The number 12 machine. 112 machine going around. It looks like left side tires going on. The number 12 of Chris Hartofelax. Hartofelax is down and away. Full tank of fuel, and he is back, getting ready to go back out on the track, Phil.
I'm in the 07 pits of Rick Moon, that Harley-Davidson Chevrolet. It's a 4-tire pit stop. The 07's full of fuel. Jack is down. He is down the way. Looks like Hartofelax, Todd, is going to win the race off of pit road.
Yeah, Hartofelax won the race off of pit road in that 112 machine. The 07 of Rick Moon came off 2nd. Brian Hogan, the 41, he came off 3rd. We're going to have to see what happens if any of these guys got speeding penalties coming down the pit road. You know how treacherous that is coming down off that banking of Texas World Speedway and how much it's going to make you slow down. You're going to have to slow down to 65 miles an hour at that line, and that's a tough chore in itself, isn't it, Phil?
When you're coming off these high banks down from 200 miles per hour down to 65 miles per hour, have to get on the brakes, not slide the tires, keep that back end from sliding underneath you. It is an absolute tricky chore. Now, the interesting thing about this, Todd, is this pit road entrance isn't exactly straight. There's that D-shaped curve to that outside wall there as you go onto pit road. So that makes it even more treacherous. You have to keep that truck under control as they get under braking. And you run the risk when you do that of sliding up into the outside wall, which I believe a couple of guys may have been guilty of here. I believe a DRTV punt cam caught a couple of things. I'm going to throw it down to the booth to Rich. I believe he's got a couple different things here to show you on a replay.
Yeah, most definitely, guys. We're going to keep our eyes on the 17, 57, and 96 because it was not pretty as they came down pit road. We'll go ahead and run this in slow motion forward. The 17 is going to jump on the brakes right here. 57 just did not get on him fast enough. He's going to rear end the 17, and that's going to put the 96 right into the back of the 57. So the 57, 96, and 17 all got banged up coming in on this one. And then as the 17 turns around, the 18 comes in, not seeing him, coming out in front of the 41, and all of a sudden the 18 is going to smack the right front corner of the 17. Meanwhile, you see Mingus back there in the 12. He got a little messed up trying to avoid some of that, getting in there too hot. that got him spun around. So we've got an issue with the 17 and the 12 trying to get turned around in the right direction. A lot of bumping and banging coming across that pit road entrance line, guys.
Well, said a lot of that going on, and Todd and I are just talking about it is very treacherous getting off these high banks at these high speeds and lowering that thing down to keep it under control. And as I think you've seen there on the DRTV replay on that punt cam, things get awfully hairy, Todd, awfully fast. And unfortunately for a couple of these guys, it looks like it's taken them out of contention as the top three guys are pulling away.
Yep, indeed. Here at Texas World Speedway, we've got a three-car breakaway. Chris Harder-Felix is currently your race leader with the 112 machine. The 07 Rick Moon is currently second. Brian Hogue is third in that number 41 machine. And then a big gap to Donnie Garrett, the Nature Boy. 4.670 seconds to Donnie Garrett in that 77 machine. He is running fourth. Fifth, Jason Scheck, who is another 10 seconds back. And then you got 18 of David Lawson. He's 15 seconds back. Dave Robbins, 17 seconds back. 017 of Chuck McClure after the contact. Also 25 seconds back. Gary Mingus, 34 seconds back. So the top three, Phil, have broken away. A second loss now to Donnie Garrett as he was four. Now he's 5.6 seconds back behind them top three. So right now the top three do not want to see a yellow flag.
That's the one thing they don't want to see is these top three guys all tucked up in this pack together, able to put distance on fourth place Donnie Garrett, who is running all by himself now, well over 6 seconds in the rears. You would think, Todd, these top three guys going to be all locked in to this big main event, but the race now, just for that second spot, as Brian Hogue in the 41, he pulled out alongside and was able to get by the 07 of Rick Moon, put the 41 of Brian Hogue up to that second position. But the question I got for you, Todd, three guys going to transfer this main event. What did you think the rule of thumb is to ride in line amongst the top three, or is there prestige in going out and claiming this checkered flag?
You're on DRTV, Phil. Wouldn't you go out and claim the checkered flag? What kind of question is that? I would want to win the race, wouldn't you?
Well, I think I would, but I think, Todd, if it was me out there, I think I'd be none the worse for wear. The big prize tonight is that all-star race, the 70-lap main event. And the only way to make sure you're going to guarantee yourself a spot in that is by finishing in the top three. And anything you may do racing up for that race lead, I mean, you may lose control of that truck and maybe back into the fence and end your night. And that could eliminate any shot you got of making it to this big main event, the RTG All-Star race here a little later on. If I'm one of these guys, if I'm Chris, if I'm Brian, I'm Rick, I'm riding a line on that top three. But it sounds like if I was out there in that DRTV Motorsports Ford that you parade out there, Todd, it sounds like you got that loud pedal down. You're going to go for the race win.
Yeah, records are checkers. I would actually go right for the race win. I mean, you're on DRTV. How many times do you get a chance to win on DRTV? Yeah, I mean, it's pretty prestigious to win on DRTV. I mean, yeah, you're going to transfer and riding the line. You just got to be cautious how you're going to pass some of these guys. So it looks like the number 12 of Gary Mingus right now, it's going to go a lap down to the number 12 machine. Is going to go a lap down to the 112 of Chris Harder-Felix. But Hogue is now caught up to the rear bumper of Chris Harder-Felix. Hogue is one of them guys. You got to watch out for him in the closing laps in that 41 machine. I've pretty few times, and I know you have, Phil. And Hogue, I don't think you're going to see Hogue lay down and just stay right behind Harder-Felix. I think you'll see him try to win this race.
We've made many laps here with Brian over the Bare Bones Racing Series season on Monday nights over at RTG. Brian will always charge and race you hard. But one of the great things about Brian, he'll always race you clean. And I think we can expect that 41. He's going to be a player before the night is out. He's in prime spot right now, running second in this All-Star Open with now less than 5 laps to go. Working lap number 26 of the 30. Chris Harder-Felix out there in the race lead, but I think you said it, Todd. Brian Hogue at number 41. I don't think he's going to lay over and let Chris run away with this thing. I think he may challenge for the race win before this thing's out. They are riding right in the tire tracks on the top two. Chris Harder-Felix being chased by Brian Hogue as they hit turn 3.
Rick Moon is sitting in the third spot. Looks like he is doing what Phil would do out there on the track. And 7 not being exciting. So the 41 of Brian Hogue running in second right now. He peaked below the 112 of Harder-Felix. Harder-Felix trying to hold on to that lead. Is the 41 of Brian Hogue now back up to his rear bumper as Hogue now trying to work over Harder-Felix.
Hogue's going to try to work over Chris Harder-Felix. He's going to remain in the tire tracks off the exit of turn 2. Todd, you'll tell you just come straight out and say I'm not exciting, but we'll see if we can't make this exciting. We'll throw it down to Rich down in the broadcast booth. Rich, give us a chatbox update. I'm sure they're a whole lot more excited than I would be out there just riding around in line, third place like Rick Moon.
Yeah, no doubt. You guys are full of something tonight. I don't know, but most definitely, we've got a big All-Star event coming up tonight, or the main event right after this race, and a lot of these drivers, a lot of big names are watching this race on YouTube Live tonight. People out there like Zach Freemount, David Day, Jeff Crivello, quite a few big names out here. And so far what I'm seeing is they're thinking Hoag's going to get around him. So we'll have to see how this plays out. And you guys watching this show live, let's hear it. Who's going to get it? Is it going to be Chris? Or is it going to be Brian? Or is someone else going to sneak up there in these last couple laps, guys?
Well, I want to hear what the chat box has to say, but I know a couple of things, Todd. Some of those guys he's just mentioned off in the chat box, we're going to see them here just about 25 minutes from now as part of this big all-star race here. All them guys all locked in. That will make for a great time. 2 laps remaining in this all-star open. Chris Harder-Felix out there with the race lead in that number 112. Brian Hoag right there in the 41. Right behind them, you see Rick Moon in the 07. He's side by side with Gary Mingus, who's 1 lap down in that 9th position. All the attention is turned to that top 3 as Donnie Garrett, 4th place running in that 77, has fallen back over 14 seconds in the rears to the race leaders. So Todd, as they're going to come to the white flag, looks like Brian is looking on a line, maybe try to pull alongside for the race leaders as they exit turn 4.
Yeah, Brian Hoag is trying low, he's trying high. Harder-Felix has been defending pretty well in that 112 machine. White Silk is in the air. Rick Moon starting to make a charge in the 07 machine. Maybe you heard what I had to say. Here comes Rick Moon down to the bottom side trying to fight with Brian Hoag. He's going to try to take over that 2nd spot in the 07 machine. Harder-Felix looking in his mirror, seeing them side by side. He goes down the block. Rick Moon down on the bottom side trying to take over the 2nd spot. He's going to be able to do so. Close the deal on the number 41 of Brian Hoag. Here comes 07 of Rick Moon. He's going to go down to the low side trying to get around Chris Harder-Felix coming down to get the checkered flag. Here comes Rick Moon down to the bottom side by side with Harder-Felix. Just not going to have enough. Felix wins the Open here at the Rolling Thunder Gaming All-Star Open. These top 3 guys have qualified their way into this Open field, or the All-Star race from the Open. It was a pretty good show. I just don't know, Phil. I thought the 07 was just going to lay back there.
Well, you call him not exciting, but he certainly did make that exciting. Did not lay back in that 3rd position of line and took down a transfer spot. Runner-up position, he made that nice move under Chris Harder-Felix off of turn number 4. But we're at the end of it, at the end of this 30-lap sprint race, this All-Star Open, it's Chris Harder-Felix who's going to take down the race win. Rick Moon 2nd, Brian Hoag 3rd. That's your top 3 transfer spots. Coming up just short, Todd, Donnie Garrett in that number 77, 14.9 seconds off a transfer spot. I'm sure Donnie's disappointed, but we'll turn to the top 3. I'm sure jubilation as those guys have punched their ticket to the RTG All-Star race.
These guys all playing after the race here at the Texas World Speedway, using that victory lane as a ramp. You've seen these guys tumble all over the speedway. Excitement here for the Open, and some guys really disappointed in their run here, trying to get to the All-Star race for the Rolling Thunder Gaming League here, and we can't wait to see what happens here. And we're going to get word with, I believe, the top 3 here of the Open, the 3 qualifiers, the 3 that transferred to the All-Star race here at the Texas World Speedway. 70 laps going to be the distance in that race. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Got a lot of heavy hitters, a lot of big names out there for this All-Star race. The best of the Rolling Thunder Gaming League going to take the green flag for 70 laps. I just can't imagine what's going to happen here, Phil.
Well, I think it's going to be an awesome main event. The top 3 guys have punched their ticket. As we said, we'll see if we can't get a word with these guys that finish in the top 3. Let's see if we can't get a word with 3rd place finisher, that being the 41 of Brian Hoag. Brian, Phil LeCasse of DRTV, do you have a copy?
Yes, I do.
Brian able to bring that thing home in the 3rd spot. Then wasn't sure if Rick Moon was going to ride along in line there and let you have that 2nd spot, but Rick had other ideas. But nonetheless, you're the top 3, you're in a transfer spot. I'm sure you're pretty tickled pink over that.
Oh, yeah, I'm pretty tickled pink about it. Rick surprised me going about on the last lap there, coming around me. I thought he was just going to ride there.
Well, I'm sure you were panicking. You've seen him pull alongside there with that awesome run. He almost had a run of it to go down and chase Chris up there for the race win, but Chris able to hold him off. But I'm sure your eyebrows are raised when he got alongside him. How much were you going to race him for that spot, or were you just going to save that thing knowing you're in a transfer spot?
I was just going to save it. I knew I was in a transfer spot. I wasn't going to really race those two real hard. I was just riding along.
Now, I got to ask, you've had 30 laps out there. We have a 70-lap big main event here coming up here just in a little bit. You're in that big main event. What is the strategy going to be there for that 70-lap big main event race versus this 30-lap sprint race?
I'm just going to ride along, see what happens, and towards the end, I'm just going to try to work my way up to the front, stay out of trouble.
Well, I think that'd be the name of the game. Well, Brian, I'm going to give you the floor one time here. I know we got the big race coming up here. Just in case you don't get to talk to you later on, I'll let you give a shout-out to and thank whoever you'd like to here for your top 3 here in this All-Star Open.
I want to thank RTG, Bones, Prime, Terry for putting on one heck of a league for us to race at, and couldn't say much more.
All right, well, Brian, congratulations. You dodged one bullet. You're into the big All-Star race. Good luck on that big 70-lapper, and we'll catch up here later on. Thank you, buddy.
All right, thank you, Phil.
All right, Todd, that's Brian Hogue there. Has transferred in to the big All-Star main event, but I believe you're going to be down there with second-place finisher Rick Moon, who was able to bring that 07 home there. Runner-up, almost got it for the race win. Todd, down to you.
Yeah, I'm caught up with the driver of the 07, Rick Moon. Rick, I thought you were just going to ride there in third and just be boring, like I did say that on air, but you made it interesting there at the end and finished second. I thought maybe you could even pull off getting around Chris Harder-Felix.
Yeah, I tried to give her a good shot at it, but I don't know, I got kind of stuck behind that lap car a little too long and kind of didn't get my run on Chris as early as I wanted to. But I'm happy with second or third. Either one would have been fine. I just thought I'd give it a good try anyhow.
Yeah, you added some excitement there to the finish, Rick, and it was a good race there. And I thought maybe you had enough mustard to pull off the corner. It just didn't work out for you, but you did transfer to the All-Star race here for the Rolling Thunder Gaming, and you got to be pretty proud of that.
Oh, absolutely. Harley Davidson Chevy pickup's running really good tonight, so I'm looking forward to the All-Star race. Hopefully I can place in the top 3 or 4 in it.
Again, congratulations on second place here tonight, Rick. I'm going to give you the floor. The microphone is all yours. Thank whoever you want to thank live on DRTV.
Well, I want to thank RTG for putting on this big event here, and thank DRTV for telecasting it for us. And thank Harley Davidson for sponsoring my truck. And I think that pretty much covers it.
Well, that's tonight's second place finisher, the driver of the 07, that's Rick Moon. I'm going to throw it down to victory lane with Mr. TV Time, Rich Patton.
Yeah, most definitely. I made my way down here. Hopefully not for the only time tonight. We're looking at that next race, but I'm down here with the opener winner, Chris Harder-Felix. You won this thing, buddy. I mean, was you worried about the guys getting around you on that last lap? Because it looked like it was getting a little hairy there.
Yeah, a little worried. I kind of took a bad angle into 3 and washed up a hair out of 4, but I had enough momentum to hold them off.
Yeah, 10-4, it got really interesting. We were trying to, figure out up in the booth whether you guys were just going to kind of hang in the top 3. You had a good 3-car breakaway right at the end of this event, and it looked like, everybody was going to be happy with their transfer spots. And then all of a sudden, Rick Moon got one heck of a run and actually got up there, looked like he was going to try to challenge you for the win. So it made it quite exciting right there at the end, and congratulations once again. Before we get you back out there, I know you got to get your truck ready for this next event because things are moving fast down there on the track, but I want to go ahead and give you the floor, give you the mic, and a big shout out for this opener win tonight, man. Good job.
Hey, thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for putting on the broadcast, and thanks out to MSR, RTR for putting on this All-Star event, Sean Prime, Terry, and all those guys. It was definitely an exciting race. Just wanted to put myself in position before that first pit stop because I knew that was going to be one of the deciding things. So we were able to come in first and get out first. So that pretty much won it right there, put us in the top 3. So yeah, great race. Looking forward to this All-Star thing, and who knows, I might be in victory lane again.
All right, well, I hope we get to talk to you again later tonight. You know, we got a 70 lapper around this event, and it's going to be a little bit bigger field. And glad you made it into that position. I'm going to send this back up to the booth, guys. We got another race coming up.
Oh, man, do we ever. The Rolling Thunder Gaming All-Star Race, 70 laps. We've seen 30 laps here around this Texas World Speedway. We're going to set the stage for 70 more here, a star-studded field for this Rolling Thunder All-Star Race here tonight. 2 Mile Speedway, Texas World Speedway. We've seen it here in this last 30 laps. It's going to make for one exciting race. So we're going to take here just a minute or so. We're going to regroup. We're going to throw it here to the NRT commercial. We'll be right back here on DRTV from a Texas World Speedway.
NRT Game Servers is your best option for your gaming development need. State-of-the-art technology combined with some of the best voice talent and software out there, NRT gives a quality gaming experience. Dedicated to their craft, NRT provides quality product and services. Contact NRT Game Servers today at 828-212-4040 or at www.nrtservers.com today for a quality gaming experience.
And we're back live here at Texas World Speedway. We just witnessed the RTG All-Star Open event. Trucks are back out on the track right now. This is going to be the full field for the main event. The top 3, I believe, made it into the main event. We're going to go ahead and drag Sean Prime up here real quick, and he's going to be able to tell us what else is going on. Sean Prime, you got your copy?
I do. What a race, huh?
Yeah, that was something else. We're currently sitting here in the intermission. We see some trucks out on the track right now practicing. We know the top 3 from the open race made the main event. Is there more information coming out of the RTG house that we should know about?
There is, and it is breaking news. As you see, the All-Stars are hitting the track. We had in the rules, you know, we were going to add 3 more drivers on top of the top 3 as owners' picks. You know, these are the guys that make RTG happen, that support all the series and make it go. But we're going to tell you what, we talked, David, Terry, and I, and these guys put on a caution-free race. We've got so many regrets from some of the All-Stars that have real racing commitments this Saturday night, you know, one of the last summer nights of the weekend, and it's sad. So we're short of quite a few of our drivers that really wanted to be here. But you know what? These guys put on a caution-free race. We're not sending anybody home. They're all racing.
On 10-4, that's good to hear. So it looks like we're going to have a little bit bigger field than originally planned. Going to see a couple of those guys out there that we just got to witness, so that should make some good racing as well. I can't wait to get this thing underway. Right now we're certainly sitting in intermission, letting these guys get their trucks together, get their stuff together for this event, and we'll see if we can't get another couple guys up here to chat with, Sean. So while you got you up here, I'll go ahead and give the floor to you one more time before I send you back down there. I know you got a lot of work to do.
Well, I just want to again thank, Rolling Thunder Gaming, Too Slow Graphics for sponsoring this event, and really everybody that races at this joint. We got the, best group of guys and people, and the quality of racing they put on, it's just proud to be a part of. They make it happen. That's why we do things like this. It's for them, and enjoy it. Yeah, it should be a fun race. It's going to be exciting, and looking forward to it. I'm not prepared myself to race, but I'm just excited to get out there and have some fun.
Well, Sean, I believe that's going to be the name of the game. Have some fun tonight. So good luck at that number 015 RTG machine. Bring that thing to the front and put on a good show for us. And I'm sure we'll be talking to you here later on. So good luck, my friend.
All right, guys. Have a great time, and we'll see you later. I'm looking forward to watching it as much as you.
All right. Well, it'll make for a good show, no doubt, here tonight. The Texas World Speedway, Rolling Thunder Gaming, the 2015 version of the All-Star Race. It's a star-studded field, and Todd, a big hats off to all these guys at RTG. An awesome move there. Let all these guys that show up for this RTG All-Star Open, let them all transfer to the main event, and I think it's a great move on their behalf, and I think it's just going to make for an even better race here. It's going to be a good, strong field, and I think it's going to be one from anywhere in that starting field.
Yeah, it could be one from anywhere on the All-Star field, anywhere. We got, right now we're going through practice time. Josh Metallic, the 39 machine, he is your current leader in the practice. Jeff, the number 11 machine, he is right now second fastest with 38.671. David Day, Mr. Excitement, in the number 5 machine, he is third. Brian Hogar one of the guys that finished third in the Open. He is fourth quickest in Marcio Bedoya. And that number 68 machine, he is currently fifth quickest in the practice grid right now. I'm going to throw it down to Mr. TV Time, who has a special guest here in the booth with us.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit time to slow down. These trucks are out there just running around the track a little bit, getting familiar with each other, getting familiar with the setups. We're going to have a bigger field out here tonight. But we have the pleasure to have the owner of RTG, and usually the main guy responsible for a lot of these special events that we here at DRTV get to put on for our race fans, Terry Balman. Terry, how's it going, buddy?
Well, it's going good. So far, it's been a good night. Caution-free race in the Open. Was pleasantly able to tell all the drivers in the Open that they were in the AllStar race, so that's a good night.
Well, there you go. Now, did your drivers know they were going to be, did the other drivers know they were going to be in the main event before the race was over? Or, was that just not knowing and they found out later?
Oh, they knew the top three were going. None of them found out until after the Open was over that any of the others were going.
10-4, that's almost like having a Christmas present to a race car driver. You think you're going to get put out, and then all of a sudden, you're back in the hunt of things for the main event. So it's pretty good. I know we had a little bit of a radio communication there, and I lost you for a minute, but you're back now, it looks like. But great to see that we're going to have all these other guys get a second chance to get up front and battle with these leaders up here.
Oh yeah, this ought to be an awesome race. I mean, the Open only had 10 cars, and we're looking, 25? I haven't even counted all of them, and yeah, you're going to see, I don't think the leader's going to be able to hold the lead for more than one lap in a row.
Yeah, 10-4. Right now, I'm looking at my stats grid, and it looks like I got 18 trucks that have made it out on the track right now that are clocking time. There's probably some more that just haven't got out there yet. I know we've got you up here with us, so you're probably not getting much drive time. And hopefully you're okay with that, because we just want to sit here and hang out with you for a little bit. One of the big questions that I had for you guys, and I wanted it to go across the air, is can you tell us what RTG is all about? I mean, most people really don't realize how big RTG is. You guys have several leagues within RTG. So tell us about RTG. What is it?
About 10 years ago, me and my brother, actually it's longer than that, it's probably 15 years ago, me and my brother sat down and we got tired of going to places and race, and 2 minutes after the race was done, everybody's gone. So we said, let's try to put a league together as a community. Yeah, we race. We play first-person shooter games, we golf, we play football, we got a ton of stuff, but the whole idea of this league is you can come in our TeamSpeak any time of the day or night and just sit there and BS. You don't have to race, you don't have to game. Just talk about your local track, your grandmother's banana cream pie, whatever you want to do. That's what we're all about here.
Myself, I've come over there and hang out with you guys, played some Call of Duty on Friday nights, and it's a heck of a thing to get out there and play games like that, or get involved with other things going on in the gaming community with people that or at least you're familiar with around. So it's kind of like like a small family reunion, and everybody just kind of hangs out over there. It's a really fun crowd.
Oh yeah, it is. I mean, it's like a big family here, and like you said, we got a bunch of different leagues. We actually have 3 NASCAR leagues here. RTR, which is the original NASCAR division of RTG. Then we have Motor Motorsports, which is more commonly known as TNT. And then, of course, you got MSR, which has got the Tally Challenge, which is probably the biggest series going right now in our 2003. Then, like I said, we have a golf league. We have our Call of Duty 4 server. We have our fantasy sports league. Looking at possibly a drag racing game, and maybe bring back some football, Madden football. So yeah, we do a little bit of everything here.
Wow, so for all you race fans out there watching, I'm sitting up here chatting with the owner of RTG and one of the main admins here, Terry Balman, and he's just kind of filling us in about what RTG is all about. It sounds like you guys are really after, to be the big melting pot of the sim community and whatnot. And, it's always proud that us being a DRTV can come over here and broadcast your race events for you guys. We just love it. We love working with you guys over here. So really a class act. Want to turn the attention to the track a little bit. We're watching these guys out on the practice track right now, seeing a lot of 38-second laps, a lot of 39-second laps. Right now, David Day looks like to be the fastest car on the track. It was Josh Metallic just a little bit ago, but David Day is racing 4.6. But overall, Terry, it looks like most of the field is pretty tight right now. I'm seeing some 2 and 3 wide racing during practice. So do you think we're going to see that once we get this race underway?
Oh, I guarantee we're going to see it. Heck, in the Open, we've seen 4 wide at one point. You're going to see 2 wide all night, 3 wide, even occasional 4 and maybe 5 wide. I mean, it's going to get wild out there.
Yeah, 10-4, I think we're looking for it. So, you know, before I let you go, I know you probably want to get down there and get some track time on. It looks like there's just under 8 minutes left of practice time before you guys are going to qualify, so we're probably going to let you go. But we'll give you the mic one more time, let you have the floor, and go ahead and give a shout-out. Tell everybody, you know, thanks for being out here, or whoever you got to thank and whatnot, and we'll let you get back down there and get busy.
Well, first off, I want to thank you guys at DRTV for the awesome broadcast. You guys are awesome to work with. The RTG owners, they put in a ton of work that people don't realize. All the admins here at RTG, and then all the other league owners and admins. It's a huge group effort to keep this going. Hopefully it keeps going for many years to come.
All right, well, I hear that, and I couldn't agree with you more, buddy. I hope that, you know, RTG continues to be as successful as they have been, and I know that as long as you guys are successful, that gives us something to do, because, you know, we have a great partnership with you guys, and we always look up to you and always look forward to doing your events, so we really appreciate it. Terry, I'm going to let you get back down there into your pit boxes and whatnot, and get your truck out on the track, get some practice time before these guys get too fast on you, buddy.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for the interview, and yeah, I haven't even touched the track yet tonight.
All right, guys, well, there you have it. Terry Balman, great guy to talk to. RTG is just phenomenal over here to work with.
Absolutely are. We'll let Terry get back into the race channel, let him get some practice time out there. I think all the track time is going to be key there, as we got 70 laps around the Texas World Speedway. We just probably got about 6 or 7 minutes before we get into qualifying for this big main event. So while we got some more time to kill here, let's see if we can't get a word with another guy who's in the works over here at RTG. That's being Josh Metallic in that number 39. Josh, I know you're out there getting a little bit of practice in there. How's the setup out there for that number 39 truck?
Setup's really good. If you guys have been following me and Chris Robbins and Chris Hart, we can't stop going 3 wide for the most part, so it's a good racy setup. There is tire wear, so it's not going to be a Dega style race where it's pure flat out. But very racy, and should be pretty good entertainment here, I hope.
Now, we saw in that 30-lap open there, that was an awesome race, that the majority of the passing had to be down in that low side. Looks like if you were going to make any kind of headway up in that high lane, you were going to need plenty of dancing partners. Is that what it feels like out there just in this practice session?
Yeah, well, you can make moves. I'm not sure what just happened there, but if you save your tires, you can pass high. Low side's preferred, but it just depends on where the cars are in front of you. If someone makes a move to the low side and doesn't complete it down the back stretch or the front stretch, you might get freight trained. So low's dominant, but as tires wear and guys do a better job saving than others, you'll see passes that you might not expect.
Now, we've seen around the green flag pit stops during the All-Star Open. Are you anticipating we're going to see green flag pit stops here for this big All-Star race for 70 laps?
I sure hope so. It's a racy track, but the setup's really good. So I would imagine we do, but we'll find out over the next hour or so. Pit road's a little goofy. They randomize the pit stalls. So if you start on the pole, he might be in the back anyway on pit road. So I think that kind of led to the first race. But yeah, there should be some green runs and a lot of three-wide racing going on tonight.
Now tell us a little bit about that transition getting off the banking onto pit road. Is it as treacherous behind the wheel as it looks to us up here in the booth? Because look like at those screaming speeds, well over 200 miles per hour around here at the Texas World Speedway, it looks like getting that thing on the brakes and down to that 65 mile per hour and keeping that thing underneath you, that thing sure looks like a handful. Is that what it's like out there behind the 39?
Yeah, as the tires wear, that's when you're going to be pitting most likely anyway. But there is a pretty long straight run to the timing line, so you'll see on that punt cam a lot of people smoking their tires coming in. It's not too hard to get off the apron, but with fully worn tires, you're going to see some people probably make some mistakes. And then, with such a long run to the pit line, there's going to be some guys that are driving in a little too deep, and like you saw in that first race, someone gets run over, so you could see some of that again tonight.
We're just a few minutes away from getting this RTG All-Star race underway. Up in the booth, we have Josh Metallic with us, who's out there in that number 39. Now, Josh, real quick here, last couple questions here now. How much do you think track position is going to be key here for 70 laps? Is qualifying up front going to be at a premium? Or are you going to be able to make moves if you're going to start mid-pack and maybe get up toward the front and keep that thing out of trouble if something were to happen?
Yeah, I'm still trying to decide that. I'm partially considering just starting the back. The draft's going to play a big factor, so you'll definitely be able to make up spots if you make the right moves at the right time. Being a track that does use up tires, being up front is an advantage. You have less cars to pass. So it's kind of an interesting situation, which is better, and I don't have the answer for that myself, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I hear that. I was watching you guys during practice, and I don't know if we're interrupting you or you're just goofing off, but it looks like you had a little bumper rubbing going on with the last race winner there, Chris Harder-Felix. You guys out there goofing off a little bit to kill some time or what?
Well, we're pushing hard, seeing what it'll do for the race. I haven't had a whole lot of laps on this track this week or the last couple of weeks, so find the where the edge is, and if we push so hard, how much the tires can eat up. So guys are pushing practice. We're having fun for sure. That's what it's about. But we're trying to abuse our tires and see how well they last.
Well, Josh, you got just about a minute till qualifying, so we'll let you get back down there. But thank you very much for a couple of words here with us, and good luck out there behind the wheel of 39. Give that thing a good ride, and we'll catch up here later on. Good luck, my friend.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Thanks to all you guys for broadcasting. Thanks to Terry and Dave and Sean for putting it on, and we'll try to make it interesting for you.
All right, guys. That's Josh Metallic in the number 39. Just about 30 seconds away from getting to qualifying here. And Todd, if my count is right, I count 24 trucks going to take the green flag for this big main event.
23 have took time as of right now. That's what I got showing on my screen. 23 at top of the board. David Day, Josh Metallic, Chuck McClure, Marcio Bedoya, Brian Hogue, Rusty Little, Gary Mingus up there in the top 10. Mauricio Bedoya, Gary Mingus, Sean Prime, Rick Moon, Jeff Zupka, Tony Fox, Donnie Garrett, Chris Robbins, Carson Krenz. These guys all in the 38-second bracket. They're doing pretty well out there, drafting 3 and 4 wide, like these guys were mentioning. They were switching positions on and off throughout the whole speedway there, Phil. I think this track is going to allow 3 or 4 wide racing.
Yeah, I think we're going to see business pick up here. We've seen 10 trucks take the green flag in that All-Star Open. And a big hats off to all the guys at RTG, allowing all those guys that ran the All-Star Open. They were going to take the top 3. Well, they say, you know what, we're going to appreciate all you guys that come out, all you 10 guys. We want to welcome you into the main event. So we're going to have 24 trucks strong for this big main event here, and it make for an awesome race. The 2-mile high-speed oval, the Texas World Speedway. Speeds on these straightaways well over 200 miles per hour. Top of the leaderboard, we find Mr. Excitement David Day, a 38.446. Those are drafting speeds. The attention we're going to turn to is to qualifying. I believe you're going to see quick times here probably at about the
Drivers,
39.8,
to your car.
39.7 range that may set quick time. Todd, you think that may be the case as well?
Yeah, 39.7, 39.8. You're going to see that. You might peak to see a 38.6. I'm not 100% sure, but you're also going to see probably the 40s too. We're going to have to see what happens, Phil. It's just going to be interesting to see what the practice times differ from these qualifying times, but I think you about hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of we'll see times in the 38-second bracket or 39-second bracket for sure. They're not going to turn those big 38s like they are in the draft and those single car runs, but we'll have to keep an eye to the top of the board here as they just now get this qualifying session for this big RTG All-Star race, the 2015 version. It's All-Star night over here at Rolling Thunder Gaming. Find them at rollingthundergaming.com. A lot of stuff going on here, as Rich and Terry talked about a little while ago. These guys are racing, it looks like, between 3 different leagues that make up the RTG stable. Looks like they have 5 to 6 nights a week of racing action. Everything from cars, trucks, super speedway, short tracks, you name it. Everything in between. RollingThunderGaming.com is the place to find them. Lots of great stuff going on here. And, of course, here on DRTV, if you'd like to get your league on DRTV, DRLRacing.com is the home of DRTV. Check out our event request page, all the event packages, everything to customize to your league's needs here. And Todd, Rich, myself, we'd love to come over to your place and showcase everything you have going on here week after week on DRTV. So DRLRacing.com is the home of DRTV. Qualifying times are up on the board. And Todd, right out the gate, we're seeing 39.976 quick time for Carson Krenz. Those times are coming in hot and heavy, which I believe those are lap 1 times.
Yeah, they are lap 1 times. I thought we were going to be off, but you can throw away the first lap here at the Texas World Speedway, and I think we're going to be right. Lap 2 times are starting to come up now. We're seeing 39.8s now, Phil. So we're really, really close. That was a good guesstimate.
Well, 39.823 current quick time. That's been turned in by Mauricio Bedoya. The number 68. 23 guys have taken time here. Still got about a minute and 20 seconds. We'll see if 23 or all 24 guys take qualifying times. Now on top of the board, Jeff Zupta, the number 11. We've seen him a couple weeks ago take down the championship here at RTG in their Aero 88 series. Jeff out there tonight parading around in a number 11 machine. A number change now for Jeff here for the upcoming season. 39.806 looks to be the quick time. Sean Prime has clocked in outside at a 39.812. And Todd is looking up and down the board. I believe we may have seen all the lap times for lap number 2 come in. And it looks like Jeff Zupta is going to take down the pole tonight for this big RTG All-Star race with that time of 39.806.
Yeah, he finished up the last time he was live here on DRTV with a win and now getting a pole. And like he said, remember, Phil, he did say we are his good luck charm. He gets the pole every time he races. I do remember that from the last broadcast.
Well, we'll have to keep that in mind here as they're going to wrap up qualifying. And it'll be a quick happy hour session here. Let these guys have their last-minute test and tunes and set the stage for the big 70-lap main event here live today on DRTV from the Texas World Speedway. Phil Lacasse, Todd Stanton, Rich Patton on the call as always, and a big main event we have on hand. And Rich, we've been here, you know, we saw the All-Star Open. We've seen all the great racing here over the last couple weeks here from RTG. And this All-Star race, man, I think we're going to be in for quite the treat here. 23 guys took time, but I think you're going to see anybody amongst this 24-car field be in contention for the race win.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. I mean, we've got some pretty big names out there in the sim community as we see the trucks now getting out on the track to start happy hour out. We're going to see guys like David Day out here, Gary Meekins, Jeff Zupta, Chris Artefelax, Dave Little, Ryan Hogue still back out here, Dave Robbins, Chuck McClure. There's a lot of big names out here. We even seeing the Nature Boy, Donnie Garrett, Ron Larkin Jr. is going to be out here. I mean, there's some heavy hitters at this All-Star event. And as you guys know, we mentioned it earlier in the opener that, you know, the only way these guys are getting here is by either being a series champion, winning a special event, or, some other special thing going on that they've got going on for their series champions and season champions. So these are the big hitters. And I think we're in for one heck of a show. 70 laps around this 2-mile D-shaped oval tonight. Pit window's looking like it's going to be about 23 to 25 laps. So we should get to see a couple pit stops, green flag pit stops, hopefully, as these guys can keep these trucks under them. Bigger field. It's going to be tighter racing. I think we're going to see a lot of 3-wide racing. This track, looking at it, looks like it's a very wide track, guys.
Well, if the open race was any indication, I think we're going to see a lot of 2 and maybe 3-wide racing here around this high-speed Texas World Speedway in happy hour now. A 10-minute happy hour for this big main event. So we'll see if we can't get more of these drivers involved here in this big all-star race tonight. We'll see if maybe we can't get a word with our pole sitter, Todd. I believe you said a few weeks ago that, well, he said when he was in here with us that we're a lucky charm. Anytime we come over to here with DRTV, he says that thing always goes on the pole and always has a good run. We'll see if he'll agree with that. Jeff Zupta, Phil Lacassim, DRTV, do you have a copy?
Yes, I do.
Jeff, new number out there, the number 11, up on the pole. I believe you said every time we come over here to RTG here on DRTV, that's the name of the game for you. Once again on top of the chart. Tell us about your lap.
Yeah, I bobbled a little bit coming off of 4, but all in all, it was a real good lap. Now I'm 4-4-4 with you guys. My horseshoe, my 4-leaf clover, my lucky rabbit's foot. That's what you guys are to me.
Well, I got to ask you, say 4 for 4 putting this thing on the pole. We were here just 2 weeks ago. We've seen you wrap up that Aero 88 championship here on a Wednesday night. Now tell me, what would be more prestigious to you, that championship here in the Aero 88 series or a win here tonight in that RTG All-Star race?
Well, that's a tough one. Any win, doesn't matter what it's in. I just want to win every race.
So now you put that thing up on the pole, and I can't imagine you're a guy that's going to want to ride around in traffic. You're going to want to keep that number 11 machine up to the front of the field all night long. Is that going to be what you're going to try to do?
Yeah, I like clean air. I don't like following. I'm a leader. Doesn't always turn out that way. Everybody else is going to try to counter that. So, yeah, that's my goal, is to stay up front.
Well, Jeff, real quick, I know we had a couple minutes here before we get this thing underway. I'm going to give you the microphone. The floor is all yours to say hi to or to thank whoever you'd like to for letting you get that 11 machine up on the speedway tonight.
I just want to thank RTG for putting on the All-Star race and you guys doing the broadcast. It always intensifies and makes everything more fun.
Well, Jeff, good luck. We hope to see you keep that 11 machine up near the front all night long. A new number, so it'll take some getting used to. But give that thing a good ride, and we'll talk to you here a little later on. Good luck, buddy.
Thanks.
All right, Todd. Jeff Zupta and that number 11 machine up on the pole. And, Jeff says 4 for 4, putting that thing on top of the leaderboard in qualifying. And we'll have to see. Can Jeff find victory lane once again?
He don't need horseshoes. He don't need lucky rabbit's foots there, Phil. He threw them. He threw them out the window. He just needs the RTV to make it 4 for 4 on the pole, and that's unusual coming from a driver. They don't want us to pick him, and he's just the top of the leaderboard every time we're here, and that's good for him, and good exposure for Jeff Duca, and we'll have to see what happens with him and this evening, and Sean Prime outside pole. So we're going to see that. As I believe we've caught up with Zach Freemow. Zach, Todd up in the booth here. Got a copy.
Todd, good to hear your voice.
Well, Zach, you've had some wins here, and recently you've had some wins, and I've seen you do pretty good here as of late. You got a new ride out there, I believe, in that number 6 machine. Tell us a little bit about your strategy here tonight.
Well, this is just this is going to be a fun race tonight. A lot of the drivers have been really upbeat. It's been a pretty good time throughout practice, and hanging out and watching you guys do a great job with the first qualifying race, and we very, very much appreciate you guys being here. I think it's just going to be keep the truck together to the end, because we got a really good field tonight. So I think you're going to see a lot of really good racing, and you're going to have to keep an eye out too, because what a bunch of us found out practicing earlier is about halfway or a little farther through a fuel run, The right front gets really warm. The truck starts pushing quite a bit. But I think if everybody minds their P's and Q's, you guys are in for one heck of a show.
Is it more beneficial, Zach, to be out there in clean air, or do you want to just ride around in the back in what they would call dirty air?
I found when you're out front, the truck doesn't seem to be as pushy because you don't have that draft pulling you down into the corners. So you can arc it just a little bit better. You can get your line just the way you want it to be. But at the same time, if you're 2, 3, 4 cars back, it sucks up really well, and it's just like you're really getting pulled along. And we got a good setup. We got to thank Prime. We got to thank Terry. I especially got to thank Terry because he painted this really sharp truck that I'm running tonight. 2 slow graphics. He does a lot of work for a lot of guys out there, and it's going to be a lot of fun tonight. It's going to be a really fun race.
Well, you kind of stole my thunder, but I'll give you the microphone one more time if you want to thank anybody out there, Zach. Hey, you start 7th here this evening. Good starting position, really. 7th place, and at randomized pit stalls, that's going to change up the strategy just a little bit. But the microphone's all yours, Zach.
Yeah, and on that note too, we saw that cause a little bit of issue in the first race. So we've had a lot of guys checking their pit stalls, seeing where they're going to be on pit road, and Todd, we miss you and Phil being out there with us. I just want to throw that out there for you guys, just as a little aside. But all the drivers over here at RTG, all the owners, admins, RTG, MSR, you guys, DRTV, you do a great job for us, and thank you very much, and we're going to have a good show for you.
Well, that's a driver out of Clyde, New York, driving the number 6 here tonight, the Chevy Silverado. That's Zach Freemile. He has 5 wins in the Bare Bones Racing Series, so interesting to hear from Zach Freemile. We don't get to talk to Zach very often here on DRTV, but we just did, and he gave us some pretty good insight there, Phil.
He sure did, and I appreciate the shout out here to you, myself, and to you as well as Zach and ourselves have raced here on Monday nights at RTG throughout the Bare Bones Series Racing, and just to notice out to Zach and all the guys here that run on a Monday night. I believe the series gets back underway this coming Monday night, 2 nights from now, and I believe, Todd, they may see the number 91 and the number 93 DRTV Motorsports bricks back out there.
Yeah, indeed, they're going to. We're going to put this whole league on notice that we are coming. We are coming to try to take a championship. May not happen.
Well, that'd be why we call them the bricks, the 91 and 93. We'll be back here Monday night, but we're going to set the stage here. 70 laps around the Texas World Speedway. This big RTG All-Star race. Rich, I know you're down there chomping at the bit and ready to go, and I think if practice is any indication, these big qualifying times in the star-studded field, we're going to be in for one heck of a treat here for 70 laps around the Texas World Speedway.
Oh, no, most definitely. I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, if these guys keep their truck clean, it'll make my job easy tonight. But if they don't, I'm certainly going to be searching for some more Richisms tonight, so you just never know what's going to happen from down here in the control booth. Hopefully they keep it green, and it's a good, exciting race. But I'm watching them.
Well, being down in the DRTV control booth, Rich, we'll hope you're going to be watching because you do a great job down there and giving us all the awesome looks here week after week on DRTV. From that International Space Station-looking DRTV control booth. I know we haven't posted any pictures of that rig in a while, but what Rich does to put all these awesome shows out here each and every week there, all the awesome camera views, can't thank all our DRTV crew enough for all the work they've done there with DRTV Pace Fan, the cameras, all these awesome graphics week after week. Thank to all the crew, and a big hats off to Rich and all he does down there. And Todd, we can't appreciate Rich enough for all the awesome looks here, but hats off, and I can't wait to get this thing underway here. Looks like we're about 30 seconds, and Rich, we talk about the crew. Give these guys a shout out; they all deserve it.
Yeah, most definitely. There's a lot of people that are involved in what we do here at DRTV. Obviously, everybody knows you, Phil, and Todd as being our main announcers and main broadcast announcers. You also help me, with a lot of other odds and ends that go on, and of course all three of us work together on trying to get things together, but we got a couple other guys in the background that kind of do things for us as well. Big hats off to J-Rock. He usually helps us out with the camera files. Everybody knows J-Rock from SBP, Safer Barrier Project. So hats off to J-Rock. I think he's at a rock concert tonight, so he's not watching us live on YouTube tonight like he normally does, but big hats off to him. And then obviously Brian Peters out of Bear Bait Racing, he usually supplies us with a lot of programming stuff for all of our data collection tools and everything that are make it possible to get all this data up on the screens for our race fans. So hats off to those guys as well. And the show would not be what it is today without all of us together working together as a team. So hats off to a good team, and may we stay together forever.
Well, let's give this team a big hoorah, Todd, and we'll give a salute here. The RTG All-Star Race from the Texas World Speedway, a star-studded field on hand. The trucks are on the grid waiting to fire engines, so let's jump straight into the starting lineup.
Now your starting lineup for the All-Star Race here at the Rolling Thunder Gaming League. Starting on the pole, out of Edgewater, Florida, driving the number 11, that's Jeff Zupka. And outside of him is the 015, that is Sean Prime.
Inside row number 2, in truck number 68, Mauricio Bedoya from Bogota, Colombia. He'll roll off third on the outside of row number 2. We've seen him in the All-Star Open behind the wheel of truck number 96. That's Dave Robbins.
Inside row number 3, starting in the 5th starting position, that's the Nature Boy. They're driving the number 77, that's Donnie Garrett. And outside of him is the 017 of Chuck McClure.
Clyde, New York, Zach Freeman will roll off from position number 7 tonight in truck number 6. And on the outside of row number 4, in truck number 08, that's Chris Robbins.
Next row back, starting in the 9th starting position, that's the number 13, that's Dave Melson, and his dancing partner to the outside. Driving the 083, that's Dave Little.
Rusty Little's going to roll off 11th tonight in truck number 102, and on the outside of row number 6, the 07 is Rick Moon.
Out of Louisville, Kentucky, that is the driver of the number 39, that's Josh Metallic, and outside of him is the number 80, that's Jeff Cavello.
Jesse Klein's going to roll off from the 15th starting position tonight in truck number 57. On the outside of row number 8, 16th starter in number 41, that's Brian Hogue.
Stockton, California's pride, Carson Crins in the 103. He starts in that 17th position, and the slingshot is outside of him. Gary Mingus in the number 12.
Wiley Cody's going to roll off from 19th tonight in number 20. In the 20th starter, the winner of the All-Star Open here just a few minutes ago, the 112, that's Chris Hartofelax.
Starting 21st on the field, that's a 33, that's Tony Fox, and outside of him is number 18, that's David Lawson.
23rd starter will be truck number 2, that's Ron Larkin Jr. On the outside, 24th starter, Mr. Excitement, David Day.
Final row on the field for the All-Star Race here this evening. Starting in the 25th position, that is Jason Scheck in the 17th, and Terry Balman bringing up the 26th position here for the All-Star Race at the Texas World Speedway. Pace truck took the hard turn down to victory lane, and we are green flag racing down the first straightaway, Phil.
Down the front stretch for the first time, the All-Star Open from Rolling Thunder Gaming is in turn number 1. Chasing pole sitter Jeff Zupka in that number 11. He's got the whole field from a 68. Mauricio Bedoya, the 68, he's up to that second spot. He's going to look to the low side for the race lead for the first time as they hit turn 3.
Bedoya down on the bottom side trying to run in that number 11 machine there, side by side going through number 3. Donnie Garrett in the 77, he's working over on the bottom side. Sean no 15, but put Bedoya to the lead.
Bedoya out to the lead for the first time in that number 68 machine as they hit turn number 1 for the second time on the board. Race now for that second spot. Here comes Donnie Garrett in that number 77 to the low side. He's going to have the 11 of Jeff Zupka to his outside. Had to lift a little bit on that bottom side, Todd. Top side coming around. Here comes Sean Prime. That's the race for third, and now a race for the lead as they hit turn 3.
Wata and Big Rat. Caution 015 is Sean Prime, and Donnie Garrett made contact out there at the Texas World Speedway. Hard contact with the outside wall for the 015.
Oh, big time hit there for the 015 of Sean Prime. the 77 of Donnie Garrett involved. Maybe I think that might have been where the first contact was made. And now the big question is how much damage will be on those two machines as they got speeds here screaming near 200 miles per hour down these straightaways in the draft. Not exactly sure what might have happened there. Rich will have to give us the look. The first caution of the night here on DRTV from the Texas World Speedway. And my early indications, Todd, is maybe just a little bit too low there was Donnie Garrett in the 77. I believe Rich may find that on the replay, but I believe maybe a scrape on the apron is what sent that 77 hard to the right.
Yeah, tough break for those two drivers involved in that incident there. Sean Prime hard into the outside wall in the 015 machine. But I believe Mr. TV Time Rich Patton's been busy down there in the broadcast trailer, and I believe he's got that. What happened there, Rich?
Yeah, most definitely. It's just what we thought. The 77 to Donnie Garrett's going to come down low into the corner, a little bit lower than he wanted to be. He grabs the apron. That's going to push him right back up into the left rear quarter panel of Sean Prime. It's going to send Prime around. Looks like Garrett also gets touched by the 96. 96 was able to keep it straight, but that's going to send Donnie Garrett right up into Prime again. So both of these trucks flying around. Prime almost did some roof surfing there, decided to right his truck, get it back on its four rubbers. Meanwhile, these trucks are still spinning up by the wall. Everybody else looks like they're able to get around down on the apron. As you can see there, Prime's engine is up in smoke. It looks like Prime is going to be done for the night, guys. Back up to you.
Man, Todd, he's correct. Sean Prime, the 015, retired from damage here. A big hit for that 015. I'm sure Sean is disappointed as he was one of them heavy hitters coming into this race tonight.
Yeah, Sean starting from the outside pole in that 015 machine. Good qualifying run and tough break for the 015 of Sean Prime. It's just not where he wanted to be. I'm pretty sure of that.
All right, well, that's a developing story there. The 015 Sean Prime, one of the early on favorites here to win this race. Is going to be the first one of the event in that 26th position, and it's tough to see that Sean may be the first victim here tonight. Rich, I'll throw it down to you. I believe you've caught up with Sean Prime.
Yeah, I went ahead and tweaked some buttons down here in the control booth, and I believe I'm on the right frequency. Sean Prime, you got a copy, buddy.
Oh, we do.
Well, you know what this is? This is the interview of shame. Hate for you to be the one to do it, but it has to happen to somebody tonight, buddy. Hopefully things have cooled off and you're able to chat with us here for a moment. Tough break. Looks like Donnie Garrett got down on the apron, came back up, and tagged you on the left rear corner. Wasn't sure if you were coming down or not. That's not my call, but there definitely was contact. And next thing you know, you and Donnie Garrett are both up into the wall, flipping in the air, buddy. So got to be some damage. I know you're out of this race. Are you okay?
I'm okay. The 015 Stingray Chevrolet Silverado, not so much. Yeah, Donnie apologized about 10 times. He felt horrible. He got the apron. It was not a darn thing I could do. And just a passenger, and it's over. They couldn't fix it. It was totaled as soon as it blasted the wall. It happens.
Yeah, 10-4, we've all been around the block a lot, and, you know, sometimes it's just about being in the wrong place at the wrong time. That might have been one of those issues. You know, it's happened to all of us, and you're a veteran, you're a good sport about all this, so I know you're going to get right back in that seat on the next event and charge as hard as you had in the past. So, hats off to you for being such a great sport. I know Donnie is such a great sport as well. We've chatted with him a lot on the air. It's just tough to see you out this early in this event, man. This is a big event, and I know you had a big, you know, whoop-de-doo with putting all this together and whatnot. So, you know, the floor is all yours, buddy. Forget the wreck. Enjoy the rest of the race, and, you know, tell us what all's going on at RTG, and tell us what you've got going on.
Oh, it's not about me, and Donnie's a stand-up guy and a quality guy. He apologized, you know, profusely. You know, he feels horrible. You know, that stuff happens, and Donnie's a quality guy, and heck, it can happen to any of us. You know, it's just racing. I have a panache for being the victim like that in some of these big races. NRT 2 years ago, I think I made it 4 laps before almost the same thing happened. No, we got a heck of a race going on. Like I said, it's not about any one guy. Hopefully not many cars got damaged up in that. I was looking at the sky, so I didn't get to see what else all happened there, but hopefully there's not many damaged trucks, and these guys are fixing it's an electric room. They're fixing to slice it and dice it and mix it up pretty darn good. So I think you guys are in for a good show, and looks like I'll be able to watch some of it with you.
Yeah, 10-4, just before I let you get back down there or go back to whatever you're doing, watching the show and whatnot, it looks like only you and Donnie Garrett were involved. The 96 might have caught the back end of Donnie Garrett a little bit there, but he was able to keep it straight, so everybody else was able to get around you guys. I know it, happened up in the front of the pack, and sometimes that's scary for those guys in the back, but I believe everybody got below you guys and got around, so it looks like just the 77 and the 015 were involved, buddy.
Oh, that's good to hear. Those are quality guys, and they sure know how to take care of themselves, and when they see trouble ahead, they know what to do. So that's real good to hear.
All right, well, there you have it, guys. We're going to send it back up to the booth with you, Brian. We're going to let you get back down there and do what you do best, and we appreciate the time.
You got it. Have a great broadcast, guys, and thanks again for doing it, and to everybody for coming out. Should be a good show the rest of the night.
All right, that's Sean Prime. Hate to see him out of the event so early, Todd, as I believe he may have been just on the short list of guys you can watch to finish up front tonight. Unfortunately, the first round of the race, but let's turn our attention back to this All-Star race. We're under the caution for the first time tonight, 6 laps up on the board, but I believe we're just about less than a half a lap away from putting this thing back under green flag.
Yeah, the beautiful Pace Van leading them around here this evening in the Texas World Speedway. The Pace Van refurbished. I think they had to put a new motor in that machine because I think the last time it was out there it blew up. It was smoking pretty heavily, but now back up front, Zupta and Robbins going to lead them down to get the green flag. You got Dave Little, Chris Harder-Felix, Dave Melson, Rick Moon, Jeff Crivello, Jesse Klein, Dave Robbins, and Zach Freemel. That is your top 10 Pace Van down onto pit road. We're getting ready to go back to green flag racing here. Green flag is in the air, loud pedals down, and guys are turning right and left. Looks like the spun the tires, and we got a big wreck on the front straightaway. Big wreck. It is a parking lot on the front straightaway, and there's a lot of trucks involved.
Yeah, looks like it might be one of those instances of this cold tires and stomping it hard down. That gas pedal, as Todd would say, the loud pedal goes down, and it looks like, Todd, maybe just prematurely that loud pedal went down. It looked like a little bit of tire spin may have been what happened to put us under the second yellow flag of the night here now. Having a little bit of struggle here out of the gate. 7 laps up on the board of this 70-lap main event, the Rolling Thunder Gaming All-Star Race, the 2015 edition over here tonight at RTG. Yellow flag for the second time, contact on the racetrack. I believe it started up at the front of the field, about row 2. I believe it was Dave Little who might have just got a little bit of squirrely on the gas pedal and maybe got into the outside lane into I believe it might have been the 112 of Chris Harder-Felix. Rich will have to confirm that on the DRTV replay, but first indications is that's what I think I might have seen in Todd, we've seen it here a zillion times here, anytime you're out there. Cold tires, mashing down that gas pedal, as you would say, putting the loud pedal down. Sometimes it don't work out. In this case, I believe for Dave Little, that might be the case.
Yeah, his rear end of the truck picked right up, and cold tires are never a good thing to have when you're putting that loud pedal down, Phil. It's just one of the things that, you got to get them tires up to temp and hopefully be able to make them sticky so they can actually grip to the track, and it just didn't happen there, and it caused a big parking lot on the front straightaway right there by the start-finish line. I believe Mr. TV Time Rich Patton has that queued up down there, and we're going to see what actually happened.
Yeah, definitely, guys. Exactly what you were talking about. Cold tires. Everybody's getting a little bit anxious. This is a big event. These trucks were tight getting off the green flag. We're watching the scene right now. We're going to keep our eyes on Dave Little in the 83 and the 12 of Chris Harder-Felix. As the green flag drops, it looks like Dave Little gets a good jump, and he's going to get into the back end of Zupta, and that's going to get him sideways. You also see the 08 get a little bit sideways. That's going to push the 12 up. Chris tries to hang on to it. Meanwhile, Dave Little goes up into the wall. Chris comes right back across the front of the field, and it's like a bumper car mess. Let's see if we can't back this out just a little bit and show you. Good thing was nobody's really up to speed yet, so there's just a little bit of bumper banging going on. Hopefully with moderate damage, not too many people are messed up, just a little bit of fender rubbing here and there. Good thing they weren't up to speed yet, because that probably would have took out about half the field, guys. So we'll have to see how these trucks all perform on the next green flag start, because I think we might have some slight damage on at least 3 or 4 cars involved, guys.
All right, yeah, I believe you're going to see damage for at least 3 or 4. There is just a multiple truck incident there. Just one of them things that happens on those cold tires, and Dave maybe just got on that gas pedal just a little too quickly. Tire's not quite at the temperature, and that sent him into the outside lane, putting us under the caution flag here for the second time. Now working lap number 9 of 70. And Todd, interesting strategy here. It looks like everybody has come down pit road, maybe getting these things packed full of fuel and eyeing toward maybe a long green flag run.
Yeah, I think they're going to get some extra fuel in those machines and try to make sure they're going to get some different things and different. Going to have to see what these guys do on pit road. I think they're going to take tires and make sure their tires are up to snuff. Again, it's going to put them on cold tires again, so this restart is going to be crucial. They can't just hammer on the gas down the front straightaway. They're going to have to let those tires warm up, Phil. And you know how tough it is. Maybe even if you're sitting 4th or 5th, you're looking at the lead, and you want to lead on DRTV, and you just want to go to the front. And sometimes that happens. You just lift up the rear tires, and things happen. Those tires are cold.
Yeah, it's absolutely right here. So we're working under the yellow flag here. We'll see if we can't grab one of these drivers. And let's talk to our good buddy Gary Mingus, one of our teammates here at DRTV. We've heard Gary up here in the broadcast booth a few different times. Gary, Phil Richard Todd in the booth. Do you have a copy, my friend?
I do. Got you loud and clear. How y'all doing?
We're doing great up here, buddy. Just having a couple hiccups here getting out the gate here. 2 yellows quickly out of the gate. But you were out there as part of that All-Star Open, that 30-lap sprint race here we've seen as a precursor to this big main event tonight. What is that thing handling like in traffic out there? I know you got to deal with a little bit of traffic there early on. And what do you think it's going to be like now with this big field of 25 trucks out there?
Well, when you get a larger field in there in the draft, it tends to pick up a push about 6-7 laps into it. The only way to combat it is just to lift a little bit going into the turn and come out a little faster. But this is a great field. These are a great bunch of drivers. I've learned that lesson in the open event. So we're in a pretty good position, and I feel like I got a handle on the track now. We'll give it our best shot.
Well, I hear that, Gary. Rich down here in the control booth. I just had a question for you. Earlier in that open race that we saw earlier, it looked like you came off the corner and caused a little bit of right side damage. How did that affect you in that race, and what do you think is going to happen with these guys that were involved in these cautions now? Is it going to slow them up, or is it going to affect their draft, or are they not going to be worried about it?
It did affect me quite a bit, but in the position I was in coming up out of the turn, when it started to push up, if I'd have lifted any at all, I'd have got hit in the back, and I didn't want to do that and cause a wreck, so I took on the wall, and it is what it is, and I just did the best I could with what I had left.
Well, Gary, I see the lights are out on the pace car. You're going to restart deep in the field there, 16th, but give that bunny bread truck a good ride, and we'll talk to you here later on. Good luck, my friend.
All right, thank you, guys, and thanks for putting this thing on, man. You owe me a barbecue sandwich there, Phil.
Well, we'll hit you up on that barbecue sandwich. I look forward to it. That's our good buddy Gary Mingus going to restart with that bunny bread machine. 16th position, but, Gary's a very competitive guy, Todd. I think by the end of this thing, he'll make some big slices and dicing moves, and I think we may find the slingshot make his way up toward the front of the field.
Yeah, I think you're going to see that, but right now we're going to focus on the front of the field. That's Chris Robbins, Brian Hope, Dave Nelson, Ron Larkin Jr., Bedoya, and Zuka. That is your top 6. David Day, Mr. Excitement, he's starting 23rd, 24th on the field. He is 7th. Chuck McClure, Donnie Garrett, Zach Freemel. That is your top 10. Pace Van takes a hard left-hand turn down to pit road. We're getting ready to go back to green flag racing here at the Texas World Speedway. The loud pedal is down. It looks like these guys are a little bit safer on the start. Not so many tires spinning. And we're back to green flag racing down the front straightaway. Chris Robbins leads them down into corner number 1.
Chris Robbins out with the race lead. Brian Hogue, he's going to slide into that second position. The race will be for 3rd. Dave Melson, the 13th, down low. He's worked his way around Ron Larkin Jr. He's going to bring Bedoya with him in that 68. They're 3 wide for 6, Todd, down the back straightaway.
Yeah, 3 wide. Mr. Excitement, David Day, is doing what he does best, making it exciting. And the number 5 machine is now pulled right behind the number 68. Bedoya now he takes to the high side of the 5 machine. And then it goes almost side by side coming out of the corner. Day's getting a run on the top side, but now here comes the number 11, Zupka. Zupka down onto the bottom side, and now he's going to take over that position from David Day. Now Day going to try to follow suit, but now he's going back up to the high side. Now there's a battle for the lead, Phil, as now Brian Hogue is fighting with Chris Robbins.
Yeah, Brian Hogue looks like he's going to swing the 41 out into the race lead, put the weight of Chris Robbins back to second. Dave Melson, he slung the 13 up in that third spot. The race now is for that third spot is a hit turn number 3. Mauricio Bedoya in the 68, he got a whale of a run with help from Mr. Excitement, David Day. Side by side now, almost 3 wide down the front straightaway.
Almost 4 wide there, Phil, momentarily. David Day trying to pick a dancing partner to go with, and they're just going all over the speedway, all kinds of room, and here comes a battle for the lead again. Chris Robbins back down to the bottom side of the 41 of Brian Hogue. Lead changes up front, and Chris Robbins going to be able to do so, and it looks like the 41 of Hogue is stuck up on the top side, but now here comes, I believe that's Bedoya, down onto the bottom side. Here he comes in the number 68 machine.
Bedoya in the 68 now going to stake his claim to the race lead as they exit turn number 4. He's got that thing down to the low side. It's Chris Robbins up high in that number 08. They're stacked 2 wide behind them. That being Brian Hogue, Dave Melson, and David Day in the number 5. Almost 3 wide. Now they'll put it back to 2. Race for the lead is in turn 1.
And Dave Melson working on the bottom side too, trying to take over that third spot. But Melson in the number 13 machine, he's going to move into third. Battle for the lead still going on. Now it's going to end here just momentarily. I believe that's going to be Chris Robbins doing a high-low switch maneuver in that 08 machine. He's going to dive back down to the bottom side of Bedoya. Bedoya trying to fight back on the high side. Right now he has the in the number 68 machine, but here comes Robbins firing back down on the inside.
Yeah, Robbins on the inside looks like he's going to stake claim and be the leader of that 15th circuit. Now working lap number 16. It's the RTG All-Star race on the Texas World Speedway. 70-lap big main event. Working lap number 16. And now we look back to that 6th position. Here comes Josh Metallic. Josh started deep in the field and at number 39. He's going to make his way up to 6 and now tucking for the top 5 tot as they hit turn 3.
Yeah, he's knocking on the door. See the number there momentarily, but it looks like Josh Metallic now moving into that 5th spot. Still battle is going on for the leaders. Bedoya is going to lead that time by. He's going to edge Robbins. David Day up to 3rd in that number 5 machine. Contact made. It looks like the 41 is in the wall hard. Brian Hogue into the wall hard. So.
Brian Hogue in the 41, as you said, hard contact with the outside wall. Not sure who it was. I don't want to speculate, but my first inclinations, it might have been the 57 of Jesse Klein who initiated the contact that put Brian up in that tailspin and hard on the outside wall. Hopefully the 41, it looks like he's going to be no worse for wear as at these high speeds. That's a heavy hit, but that's going to put us under caution number 3 of this RTG All-Star race. Going to put 18 laps up on the board. Mauricio Bedoya is going to be your race leader, followed by Chris Robbins, David Day, Dave Melson, and Josh Metallic. He's worked his way up to top 5, but Todd, not sure you got a better view of what happened there. I know Rich is going to show us exactly what happened when he gets the replay all queued up, but I believe just this incident there, a little bit of contact between, it looks like it might have been the 57 of Jesse Klein and the 41 of Brian Hogue.
Yeah, I didn't get to see much of it. I just seen Brian Hogue sideways and hitting the wall a ton with that number 41 machine, and then I saw him spinning around like a top, and then he went out of view in that number 41 machine. But tough break for Brian Hogue. He transferred from the Open. He was 3rd place in the Open. I'm going to throw it down to Mr. TV Time Rich Patton, who has what happened in that wreck there.
Yeah, most definitely going to keep our eyes on the 41 and the 57. It basically looks like a bump draft gone wrong, maybe a little bit too early or too late into the corner as this starts rolling through. 57 is going to get right up on the back of the 41. They're doing good so far, but it looks like it's time for the 41 to start making its turn, and it doesn't look like they were on the same channel. That's going to send the 41 back down into right in front of Looks like Josh, and that's going to put the 41 back up into the wall. We see the 41 and the 57 collected into the wall. That's Ron Larkin Jr. there in the blue truck. We don't have a skin for him tonight. Looks like also Rusty Little in the 102 was caught up into this as well. Looks like everybody else is able to get around them. We'll go ahead and pan this camera out a little bit, make sure everybody else was able to clear all this. So it looks like the 41, 57, 57's coming down. Good thing it looks like the 18 recognized that. He's going to slow up enough to get around him. So 41, 57, Ron Larkin Jr. and Rusty in the 102. Looks like that's the 4 involved, guys. Back up to you.
All right, so a multiple car incident there. Contact on the racetrack, putting us under yellow number 3 here for the RTG All-Star race. The 70-lap main event, they're working circuit number 19 under this third yellow flag. Looks like everybody, the mass of the field, has found its way back onto the pit lane. Get that thing full of fuel. But Todd, we've seen in that All-Star Open, the low side looked to be the way around, but it looks like here with this big mass amount of traffic, 25 trucks still left on the racetrack, looks like that outside line's able to hold pretty strong, and you may even see a third lane come in.
Yeah, I think you're going to indeed see a third lane come in. There is a top group, there's a middle group, and there's the bottom group. There's been 3 distinct groups. I've seen these guys slicing and dicing their way through the field and using every kind of groove that they can to try to get towards the front, because everybody, I think, is aiming for that clean air, Phil. It's once you get out front, it seems like it runs better up there.
I think clean air is just going to be the name of the game. I mean, I believe when you get these things back in traffic, I know I've turned many a laps here with the RTG guys here at the Texas World Speedway previously, and the indication I got from it, riding around in that dirty air, as you would call it, tucked up behind another truck, that front end can really just stick into the ground. You just push up the hill, maybe make contact on that outside wall, and at these high speeds, that's a high-speed chess match there. You're getting the outside wall at these big high excess speeds. You may wrinkle up the right side. It's going to affect your draft. It's going to affect how you turn. But it's going to be very interesting to see how these things are going to turn when you look back mid-pack. If, say you're back there around the top 10. If you're David Lawson, if you're Bedoya now, who's going to look like he's going to restart about mid-pack. Have to keep an eye on how all these guys fare back in traffic. We know they have fast vehicles, but how are those things going to turn when they're around other trucks?
And see, some of these guys, Phil, have stayed out on these older tires. I don't know if they're going to come down pit road or if they're just out there just logging laps right now and then coming down to try to get the most fuel that they can in their trucks. But you're going to see 2 different distinctive, if these guys stay out, you're going to see 2 different strategies, 2 different tire strategies for that matter. As Freeman pointed out earlier, that right front tire wears really quick here on the setup around the Texas World Speedway. So how much wear can these trucks take with these guys staying out? If they do indeed stay out with these guys with new fresh tires on, there might only be 5 laps in between them, but grip does count, as you're seeing some of these guys come down pit road. Mingus and all these guys, I don't think they're going to chance it and try to stay out on older tires.
No, I think you're exactly right. I think you're going to see all these guys who have stayed out, and I think that's going to recycle the lead, I believe, to right around where Chris Robbins may end up in the 08. Not quite sure, but I think it's going to recycle to the 08 with the race lead. I think you hit it exactly right, Todd. Even I think 2 or 3 laps at speed, that grip is going to fall off, especially in that right front tire, and especially in that dirty air. And I think that's going to be the name of the game. You're going to want to keep rubber as fresh as you can be. And I think the bigger thing, if this thing is to go on a long green flag run, you're going to want to pack these things full of fuel, because we've seen all night long, we've seen earlier in the All-Star Open, a set of green flag pit stops. It can be very treacherous getting off that banking and down to that pit road speed, which is 65 miles per hour. We've seen the punt cam busy in the open. And, you know, if we have a set of green flag pit stops, I believe the punt cam, I know we'll have it up on the screen. It may be fixing to get busy again, but got to get to that long green flag run. I believe the fuel window for this may be about 23 to 25 laps. That's a long green flag run as we're working lap number 21. We'll turn our attention now back to the back straightaway. The Pace truck, the Pace van lights are out. The DRTV Pace van lights are extinguished. Chris Robbins is going to be your race leader, followed by Donnie Garrett in the 77. Rick Boone, the 07. Wiley Cody, the 20. He's up to 4th. I believe he's up to 4th, rather, as those guys. Yeah, he is. And Rick Boone looks like, well, 3rd Rick Boone. 5th is going to be David Day in the number 5. So we've seen all these guys down pit road, Todd. They got fresh tires, they're full of fuel, and business is about to pick up.
D business about ready to pick up. We got the leaders up here. We got Robin, Garrett, Moon, Cote, Day, and Metallic there with the top six right now. The pace man getting ready to make that hard left-hand turn down to pit road, and he's going to indeed do so. He makes it off the banking. Nice and easy there in that pace van, trying not to damage that for DRTV. Green flag is in the air. Loud pedal is down once again. Chris Robin with a really good start. The 77 is down. Garrett running in that second spot. But here comes Rick Moon in the 07. He's down on the bottom with help from David Day.
David Day pushing that Harley-Davidson Chevrolet of Rick Moon around that Donnie Garrett machine. Put Rick up to that second spot as they exit turn number 2. The race for third now between David Day and Donnie Garrett. David's going to complete that pass on the 77. He's going to turn his attention to that runner-up spot. Here comes that 5 truck to the low side as they hit turn 3.
Rick Moon slams into the shot on the number 5 of David Day. Day right now running that third spot as you see Moon puts up the door wide open for David Day, but he's going to again slam the door coming off the corner. That might be Rick Moon's line, trying to make sure that he gets in front of David Day. Maybe Day's going to help him. Nope, Day's not going to help him. Here comes David Day back down to the inside of the 07 of Rick Moon. He's going to have to back off as it looks like the 08 of Chris Robbins had to back off.
And at 3 wide for second, Bedoya in that number 68, he was able to ride that high side, make that high-low switch, as you would call it, down to the low side. Bedoya is going to find his way to the race lead. He's going to have a dancing partner to the outside, that being David Day. But Mauricio in the 68, he's going to be up to the race lead. The race now is for third as they exit turn 4.
Yeah, 3 wide there momentarily for third, but they're only going to settle down and make it only 2 wide. Now Josh Metallic in that number 39 machine, he's going to be about in third. The battle is for that 4th spot. Looks like Donnie Garrett down on the bottom side, Rick Moon on the top side. It looks like Moon has some help up top, and these guys aren't going nowhere real fast. As it looks like the bottom groove and the top groove have lined up pretty good together there. Now here comes the number 6. I believe that's a 6 of Zach Freeman down on the bottom side. Freeman now working his way up towards the front.
Yeah, he's got that beautiful silver and blue 2-slow graphics forward, does Zach, and that number 6 wound up in that low side. He's going to make his way around the Rick Moon machine, put Zach in the number 6 up into that 5th position as they exit turn number 4. He'll now turn his sights to Donnie Garrett in the 77. They're going to be side by side for 4th as they hit turn 1.
Freeman getting racing in that number 6 machine is now down on the bottom side of the lead with a big short work with the 77 of Donnie Garrett. Freeman now up to 4th. Now he's going to set his sights on the number 39 of Josh Metallic. Right now your top 4 single file down the back straightaway.
Single file, the 25 trucks left of the racetrack, all in touch with the race leader in this pack. Mauricio Bedoya out in the race lead, followed by David Day, Josh Metallic, Donnie Garrett, and Zach Freeman in the number 6 now up to that top 5. Single file throughout the top 5, looking for the first race on the speedway. That looks to be for about the 8th position between Wiley, Cody, and the 20, but now as they work their way off turn 2, maybe a race for the lead as they exit the corner.
Yeah, David Day was on the top side with help from Josh Metallic, but Day backed out of it. Looked like he was going to try to pull a high-low switch. Could not be able to do it, but now here comes Day down to the bottom of Bedoya. Bedoya on the top side in that number 68 machine. He is battling strong on the top side. A whale of a run coming out the corner. Here comes David Day now pulling up alongside of him. He has help from Josh Metallic and Zach Freeman. And the 07 of Rick Moon now jumps into line. Now Bedoya back to about the 4th position as Day now your leader, but Metallic now peaks to the high side in the number 39 machine.
Big run for Chris Hartafilax. He was 8th coming off of turn number 4. He was able to shoot the gap through that middle lane and now put his way up into the top 5. We've seen Chris here just a little while ago take down the win in the All-Star Open here just a little while ago. But now as we look toward turn number 3, there's a race for the lead. Here comes Josh Metallic and David Day.
David Day pinching the number 39 of Josh Metallic down on the bottom, almost wrecking the whole field. But Metallic backs out of it. The number 39 machine. Here comes the 60 out. Bedoya down through the middle. Bedoya up through the middle of these 2 trucks as they head into turn 3. Here comes Chris Hartafilax.
Chris Hartafilax trying to shove that 112 of David Day out for the race lead. David's got that big push off that high side with Chris Hartafilax 3 wide for the race lead. David Day up high, Josh Metallic down low, Bedoya in that middle side. Doesn't look like Bedoya's got help. They're going to go 2 wide now for the race lead. New race leader Todd is David Day off turn 4.
Wow, what an amazing race race up front we have here. This has got me on the edge of the seat. Bedoya almost makes contact with the wall, but here comes Bedoya back down to the inside. And that number 68 machine, he is high, he's low, he's all over the place trying to get around the number 5 of David Day.
Well, we know Bedoya has been fast all night long in that number 68. It's yellow flag on the speedway, the 4th of the night. Yellow flag, not quite sure what may have happened to put us under this yellow flag, but we'll sort that out and figure out what exactly did happen. Looks like I believe there's a couple guys that may be involved around. I'm seeing Terry Balman, the 69, rolling off, and also seeing up in the telemetry here that Dave Little may be out due to contact in that 083. So under the yellow flag, the 4th of the night, David Day is going to be your race leader. But wow, Todd, that was exciting right there.
Yeah, just as it was getting good, yellow flag comes out for yellow fever here at the Texas World Speedway. And no page Dr. Green quite yet, but these guys having a little bit of trouble getting going. But that was the best green flag run they've had going yet so far, and 3 and 4 wide on the edge of your seat. Racing, I tell you, don't get no better than this, Phil.
No, 3 or 4 wide up here at the Texas World Speedway at the high-speed, 2-mile D-shaped oval. Wild and crazy up at the front of the field, and still trying to find out through this replay of what might have happened here that caused the yellow flag. I know a couple of guys have all, definitely Dave Little, Terry Balman. Not sure anybody else may have got caught in that. Rich, I know, is going to find that on the DRTV replay. No, he's frantic. Like I can hear the buttons down there just going absolutely frantic as he's trying to scroll, and I believe the 103 of Carson Krenz may have also got a piece of that. Not sure who is at fault. I know Rich is going to find that on the replay, but Todd, pit road's going to be busy, I believe, here in the 103 camp. But first, let's throw it down to Rich in the booth to show us what happened and put us here under yellow flag number 4.
Yeah, most definitely going into the replay here. We're going to keep the main live camera focused on the number 5 of David Day. Meanwhile, we're going to keep our eyes on 3 trucks on the track. The 69, the 83, and the 103. The 103 is the black truck on the other side of the Citgo number 83 truck. As they come through the track or into this corner, it looks like the 83 is going to get pinched a little bit. Not sure if Carson Krenz came down or what happened, but they definitely made contact. That's going to send Carson Krenz around. The 83 also gets hooked into the bumper of the 103. It looks like the 103, the 83, and the 69 of Terry Balman all up involved. We're going to go ahead and back this camera back out a little bit just to show you that it looks like everybody else was able to get around all of these guys. We'll go ahead and move this camera back, make sure that everybody else was indeed able to get around. Let the fans see what actually took place. The only one I'm worried about there is the 18. He was able to get by. And looks like 3 trucks involved in this one, guys. The 83, 103, and 69. Back up to you.
All right, so rolling around under yellow flag, the 4th of the night, just past lap number 30, 70 laps, the main event distance tonight for this RTG All-Star race. An awesome event on hand. We saw a 10-truck All-Star Open here, a 30-lap sprint race, and that set the main event here tonight. 26 took the green flag, 24 left on the racetrack here, just shy of the halfway marker under the yellow flag. And Todd, not sure what you've seen up and down pit road, but I've seen everybody up near the front all come on and off the pit lane.
Well, the camera was focused on David Day, Mr. Excitement, and he overshot his pit stall. That's going to be a costly mistake for the number 5 of David Day, waiting for scoring and timing to catch up to see where actually David Day was. He did take 4 fresh Goodyear Eagles and a full tank of fuel, a couple tanks of fuel there with the number 5 machine. It looks like the number 5 of David Day is going to be placed 7th as scoring and timing is now keeping up. So costly mistake for the number 5 as he's coming down through the pit stall. He overshoots it and slides his tires there, Phil.
That's costly. I was down in the Bedoya bit, the number 68. Looks like there was just right side tires on that Starbucks Chevrolet. Right side tires for Bogota, Colombia's Mauricio Bedoya. We know he's been fast all night in that number 68. A 2-tire stop, so we'll have to monitor how that thing's going to turn. We know the 68 has been fast all night long. Looks like he's going to restart up amongst the ranks of the top 5. And if any early indication, Todd, looked like he may have won the race off of pit road, so he may be our new race leader when this thing all cycles out.
Yeah, I think he did indeed win the race off of pit road. Not sure Jesse Klein, Lawson, and Zupka has not come down pit road, I don't think, but you're looking at, and we're hearing some of the chatter from some of these guys did pit like 6 times. It looks like Lawson's pitted 6 times, and Klein has pitted 6 times. Zupka has pitted 4 times here this evening in those particular trucks. So a lot of these guys, Bedoya has made 3 and Dave Nelson 6 times. So there's quite a bit of difference in discrepancy between these top trucks that Phil, and it looks like Lawson's been down for the 7th time to pit.
Well, I'm going to be the one thinking, you know, these guys coming out off pit road those multiple times. He said 6, 7 times now. I think they're just preparing, get those things as much fill of fuel as they possibly can. The pit window looks to be about 23 to 25 laps. That's going to be stretching it here, just shy of halfway, 35 plus laps to go. So trying to squeeze every ounce of fuel they can into these fuel cells, trying to make this thing on one more stop. That should not be a problem from here, but I think it's just precaution for these guys that just want to get these things full of fuel and prepare maybe a long green flag run. But it looks like the lights are out on the pace truck, and looks like we have a couple of new race leaders out there. Looks like Jeff Zupta is going to have the race lead in that number 11, followed by Jesse Klein in that number 57. I believe, Todd, both them guys did not pit with the ranks of the leaders last time by. I'm not sure if I can verify that, but interesting strategy place for those two machines, and they're going to have a hungry pack of wolves behind them. Bedoya there in the 68. Chris Artefelax, Dave Melson, David Day. You know those guys are going to be hard charging. You know, how much of a disadvantage do you think these guys may be out there on lesser tires, that being Jesse and Jeff in that number 11?
I don't know how much of a disadvantage it's going to be, but I really think you're going to be at a disadvantage on them older tires. They don't have many laps on them, but you can save tires enough, but it seems like they're saying 7 laps, and sometimes even 3 laps. You start seeing these trucks push around, and you're going to burn off that right front tire. So I'm not sure on the calls of those front 2 machines. We're going to have to wait and see how well that's going to affect these guys. And maybe there's a warning that there's going to be another yellow flag to fly, but that could play into their strategies, and then they're going to go to the back because there are indeed on older tires. As Pace Van takes that hard left-hand turn down to pit road one more time. Green flags get ready to fly in the air. Loud pedal is getting ready to go down, and the loud pedal is going down. Green flag is in the air, and it looks like Zupka is going to lead him, but Jesse Klein in that number 57 machine got just as good of a start, so he's going to be able to battle back on the high side. Here comes Bedoya. Bedoya in the 68 machine. He's working over the bottom side, trying to get around Jesse Klein, and I believe he's going to be able to do that, Phil.
Yeah, he's going to be able to put him away. And here comes Chris Artefelax on the 112. He's going to make quick work of that Jesse Klein machine up in the high lane. Move Chris up to position number 3. Now here comes Josh Metallic in that 39. He's going to try to battle for 4th. That's the race for 4th. Single file amongst the top 3 as they exit turn 4.
Our winner of the Open, if you guys are just tuning in, the 112 of Chris Artefelax won the AllStar Open to make himself into the show, the AllStar race here at Rolling Thunder Gaming, and now the 112 of Chris Artefelax starting to work over the number 68 of Bedoya, but not going to be able to do so. Zupka drifts up the track, the number 68 down to the bottom side again. Bedoya now fighting side by side. He's got one whale of a run coming off the corner.
Yeah, big run by that 68 off the corner, trying to sprint his way out into the race lead as they hit turn number 3 and 4. Mauricio in that 68 now sprinkled out into the race lead. The race is now for 2nd between Jeff Zupta in that 11 and that number 112 of Chris Artefelax, side by side, but now all chasing new race leader Bedoya as they hit turn 1.
Bedoya out there in the lead. Chris Artefelax in the 112. He's running in that 2nd spot. Zupka starting to drift back. Maybe getting no tires is not going to help him as the 68 of Bedoya is pulling out to a 2 or 3 car truck length lead. Actually now only 2 truck lengths between himself and the number 112 of Chris Artefelax. Zupka trying to work over. I believe he was trying to dive down into the corner to try to hold on to that third spot. Maybe turning around Artefelax. But here comes Artefelax now. Back down to the bottom side there. Side by side. Bedoya on the top side. Artefelax on the bottom side there. The door handle coming into corner number 1.
Chris is going to put the 112 down low. Looks like he's going to be able to complete that pass. Indications here, Todd. Looks like that low side is going to be the place to be. It appears all the passing being done throughout this field is mainly being done on that inside line. As we say that, here comes that high-low switch. Bedoya in the 68, he's going to pull back alongside of Chris Harder-Felix. They're going to be side by side for the race lead, but I think when it's said and done here, Mauricio's going to find his way back to the race lead. Here comes Chris battling back up high. Too wide, the race lead as they hit the start-finish line.
Bedoya going to lead that time by Chris Harder-Felix, still battling back on the high side. He's got help from Zupka in that number 11 machine and the number 39 of Josh Metalik. They are working on the top side of the speedway. The 07 Rick Moon starting to come into the fray. He's also on the top side. Here comes Mr. Excitement, David Day. He's on the bottom side helping the 08 of Chris Robbins and Bedoya in that number 68 machine. But the top group right now down the back straightaway. Looks like Harder-Felix has a slight edge coming into the corner.
Looks like more trucks have gaggled up in that high lane. Chris able to get that big run off the outside of the corner. As I'm seeing yellow flag on the speedway, the 5th one of the night, a multiple car incident here once again. It looks like as they entered turn number 3, going to be responsible for putting us here under the yellow flag. Chris Harder-Felix is going to be out in the race lead. Bedoya 2nd. Jeff Zoop is now up to 3rd. Chris Robbins 4th. Josh Metalik 5th. 6 through 10, David Day, Rick Moon, Zach Freeman, Chuck McClure. Jesse Klein's now found his way up to the 10th spot. Gary Mingus is 11th. Ron Larkin Jr. is 12th. Dave Melson 13th. Terry Rusty Little 14th. Terry Balman's now to that 15th spot. 16th through 20. Jason Scheck, Carson Krenz, Jeff Crivello, David Lawson, and Donnie Garrett is 20th. Tony Fox is 21st. Wiley Cody 22nd. Dave Robbins 23rd. Brian Hope 24th. Last truck scored on the racetrack. 2 machines out of the event here from earlier instance. Dave Little in the 083 and Sean Prime in the 015. He's going to finish up last in 26th position tonight. Under the 5th yellow flag of the night here, just past the halfway marker. Now we're going to put lap number 40 up on the board, and looks like Todd Pit Road once again going to be a busy place.
Look like Harder-Felix is going to stay out there momentarily. I'm watching the number 112 as he does dive down into his pit stall. The 112 of Chris Harder-Felix looks like he's going to get some tires on that machine. He was one of the guys that was out there running pretty hard. Right side tires are on and he is down. Left side tires going on the 112 machine right now. They're working on it real hard in the 112. He is down and away, Phil, in the 112.
I'm in the Josh Metalik pit. Looks like it was just gas and go for the 39, but he was blocked there. Could not get a clean launch out of his stall. Had to make that thing hard right. Slam on the brakes. Josh Metalik down the way, but he's going to lose many spots here on pit road. Rich, I believe you're ready with a DRTV replay as there's contact on pit road. Down to you, Rich.
Yeah, most definitely, guys. We're going to keep our eyes on the 20 of Wiley and the 41. Looks like Donnie Garrett, the 77, also was involved a little bit. Our scoring tower is going to get in the way just for a moment, but we'll tell you what happens here. The 41's going to catch the apron, come up a little bit. That's going to send Donnie Garrett up. Donnie Garrett's able to hold on to it. The problem is that slowed the 41 up as he had to lift. Next thing you know, the 20 is right on his bumper. That's going to be called a chrome bumper, basically, or a chrome horn right there in the corner. That's going to send the 41 around right in front of everybody. Looks like the 33 of Tony Fox is also around. The 41's going to take, looks like Carson Krenz up into the wall as well, as Wiley is spinning up by the wall. Looks like everybody else is able to get down below them. But by the looks of it, guys, looks like we're going to have quite a few cars around. We'll back this up just for a moment and watch the smoke and the action happen in real time. 77 goes up, and there's the smoke. Truck spun around. Couple trucks up into the wall. As you can see, the orange truck. Tony Fox goes up towards the wall as well. So looks like we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 trucks involved in that one that are possibly going to have damage. Back up to you guys.
All right, well, multiple cars. 6 truck incident. That's a hefty amount of guys that may have collected damage there, but I'm disappointed, Rich. No Richisms there.
Yeah, no Richisms. Getting a little busy down here in the control booth. I'm hearing cars spun in the pit road too, so I'm going to go back and see what's going on over there. And if I can pull something up for you guys, I'll get that back up to you as soon as I can.
All right, yeah, there was incident there on pit road as guys were coming down off the jack and making that hard right-hand turn there onto the pit lane. There was a few guys involved, but I believe it might have been the 80 of Jeff Crivello that was spun in the opposite direction. And Todd, you know as it is you're hot and heavy here trying to get off a pit road, trying to gain every spot you possibly can. sometimes you just run out of real estate and contact happens, and I believe if Rich may find that to show us on a replay, I think that's exactly what see what happened. It might be like a 3 or 4 wide scenario.
Yeah, I think it was 4 wide there, Phil. And they just don't happen on pit road. You just can't. You can't put it 4 wide, and somebody just had to give. And unfortunately, I think it was the number 80 of Jeff Corello that got spun out. We're going to have to see what happened on the speedway. But we'll have to see that right now. The 18 of David Lawson and Jeff Zupka that's their running order. But Lawson on a different pitting strategy than the rest of the field. I believe Lawson, you'll see him in the number 18 machine. He's probably going to come down pit road, and he's going to indeed do so this time by. Zupka is going to inherit the lead, and that number 11 machine should put the number 08 of Chris Robbins running in that second spot. And I believe it looks like the number 17, and maybe my scoring's wrong, but the 17 of Jason Scheck should be scored third unless he has not took a pit stop yet.
No, I believe 17 of Jason Scheck, that Sears Diehard Chevrolet, has found its way onto pit road to come get service. So we'll let timing and scoring recycle, but it looks like it's going to be Jeff Zupa in the 11 is going to be scored your race leader when they come back to the green flag. Chris Robbins looks like he's going to be in that outside spot in the number 08. Trying to square away who may be in the inside of row 2. I believe it's going to be Ron Larkin Jr. in that number 2. That blue machine going to bring up the inside lane off of row number 2 in a third spot. Dave Melson looks like he's going to restart 4th, and Chris Artefelix Todd going to roll off 5th. We know Chris has been fast. We'll see how many laps it will be before he puts that Miller High Life forward back up near the front. Rich, to you real quick. Lights are out in the pace car, but I believe you got to look there to show us what happened there. Contact on the pit lane.
Yeah, 10-4, we're going to try to make this as quick as we can. We're going to keep our eyes on the number 80. He is the red truck, third one in row. This is about the best camera scene I can get for you guys to be able to see what happens. But if you want to know what rush hour looks like on pit road, watch what's about to happen. As trucks are pulling out of their pit stalls, other trucks are coming down the track. We're running this in slow motion. You can see 3 trucks there get squeezed. They have to pan out. All of a sudden, we got 3 more trucks. We're 4 or 5 wide right there on pit road. They all start bumping bumpers, bumping fenders. Next thing you know, the 80 is spun around. He's facing the wrong direction. He's over there piping around the corner. Everybody else is able to get through all that, and then he's going to have to get his truck turned in the right direction, guys. So you can't go 5 wide on pit road. That's all I can say, fellas.
Pace van is down on pit road. Made that hard left-hand turn. Loud pedal is down. The number 11 is Zupka going to lead him down to get the green flag with the 08 of Chris Robbins. Ron Larkin Jr. in the number 2 machine. He is running third. These guys are checking up, coming into corner number 1. They're almost 3 wide again, Phil.
3 wide. I'm not sure who it was. Somebody spun the tires there. I believe it might have been the 13 of Dave Melson. Not quite sure, but I think they stacked up behind him as Dave looked like he was just on that gas pedal too quickly on them cold tires. But everybody's got it pointed back in the right direction. The race for the field is in turn number 3. All chasing now race leader Jeff Zupka, the pole sitter in that number 11. That beautifully repaired red and silver Parts America Chevrolet there for that 11 truck. Here comes Bedoya in that number 68. He's up now into that 4 spot. He's going to set sights on Ron Larkin Jr. on that outside, Todd, as they hit turn 1.
Yeah, Bedoya is going to try to make short work as he has the number 5 of David Day and Chris Artefelix right behind him. What a group on the top side of the speedway. These guys have been fast all evening long, now working together. Ron Larkin Jr. is going to be able to slide up in front of the number 5 of David Day. Day's going to try to go back down to the bottom side as he wants to follow the 68 Bedoya. And now he's going to be able to complete the pass, I believe, on Ron Larkin. You're seeing a lot of these trucks start to drift up the track. Here comes the 68 of Bedoya. He's going to move into the second spot. The 68 on the move once again.
Yeah, that 68 seems to have a lot of muscle there, that being Mauricio Bedoya in that number 68. He's now up to that second spot. He'll send Chris Robbins back to third. David Day now in that 4 spot. All chasing race leader Jeff Zupka in that number 11 as they come off of turn number 2. He's broken away with second place running Bedoya, but now the race is for third. Here comes David Day up high of Chris Robbins. They enter turn 3.
As you're watching that race for third, here comes the race for the lead as Bedoya is now battling with the number 11 of Zupka. Bedoya on the bottom side in the number 68 machine, and he's going to be able to pull off that lead that time by in that number 68 machine.
Bedoya now out to the race lead, but here comes Jeff Zupa up high in the number 11, trying to pull alongside as they exit turn number 2. Looks like Bedoya is going to be able to clear him. Zupta now is going to have to go on the defensive, as here comes Chris Robbins in that 08. He's alongside of David Day in that number 5. Too wide for third as they exit turn 4. Maybe just a little bit of door rubbing there between Robbins and David Day. They're all pointing in the right direction. But here comes Dave Melson in that 13. He looked to make it maybe up to that middle lane. He'll fall back in line. They're too wide for third as they hit turn 1.
Yeah, here comes the number 39 of Josh Metallic. Metallic now on the top side. These guys, we got a battle for the second spot right now. It looks like the number as everybody's saying that there's 3 wide in my ear, and I didn't quite see that. I didn't know what kind of race that was, but here comes Zupta for the lead in that number 11 machine. He is down low of Bedoya. Here comes David Day. Now we have a 3 wide battle for the lead. The number 5 of David Day down on the bottom side. Zupta in that number 11 machine now working in the middle. And the 68 Bedoya was on the top side there momentarily, but Bedoya backed out of it. He did not want that 3 wide maneuver going into the corner.
No, and he almost slid all the way down through that middle lane, almost into that low lane. When he cracked that throttle, there was almost contact with that 08 of Chris Robbins, rather. Bedoya doing all he can, Todd, to break the momentum of that draft as he's pulled down right on the door of the 5 of David Day, who now is looking for the race lead as they exit turn number 4. Here comes that 5 truck down low. He'll try to pull alongside Jeff Zupta. They're going to be side by side as they put lap 49 up on the board.
Yeah, Zupta in the lead with that number 11 machine. Number 5 of David Day down on the bottom side. Here comes the number 08 of Chris Robbins. He's working in that 4th spot right there momentarily. But Bedoya, if you know him, he's not going to sit there long as he's pushing the number 11 machine down the back straightaway. David Day on the bottom side does not look like they have the momentum coming out of the corner. Again, on the top side, in any type of racing, you can stay in the throttle a little bit longer, so you're going to have a little bit of an edge coming out of the corner. And the number 11 right now prevailing, but here comes David Day firing back on the inside of the number 5 machine, and I believe he's going to, I don't know if he's just barely going to lead that lap that time by, so these guys going hot and heavy, side by side. We almost got 3 wide once again. Heart of Felix way up top.
Yeah, he's trying to work in that very top lane, as you said. Very close last time by. David Day was scored the race leader by 0.004 seconds. And now here comes Bedoya in that 68, now making it look 3 wide. Maybe he had to think better of that, but that might have gotten hairy, Todd, as the 68 falls back in the line. And now 2 wide, now maybe you get almost 3 wide as you exit turn 4.
Yeah, that was him. David Day going to lead that time by. Bedoya now running in this, almost running in that second spot, but now is running in the second spot there, currently on the running order. Zupta in that number 11 machine is now up on the top side, now battling for that 3rd spot with the 08 of Chris Robbins. Robbins now running on the bottom side, but these guys working over pretty good all over through the field. Here comes Bedoya working over David Day once again on the bottom side, trying to get around David Day.
David trying to hold that 68 down in that low line, trying to do everything he can to make that 68 maybe burp that throttle pedal. But here comes Mauricio trying to find running room alongside that Mr. Excitement number 5 of David Day. Side by side for the race leader to turn 1. Mauricio, with help from Chris Robbins, who just can't seem to pick a lane. He'll wash up the hill. He almost makes contact with that Jeff Zupta machine. Now they're going to be not only double wide for the lead, but now almost 3 wide for that 3rd spot. They'll fall back in a 2 wide formation. Wild and crazy all over the speedway. Contact amongst that 2nd spot. Jeff Zupta shuffled out of the lane, and now in contact with the Josh Metallic machine as he was having to collect that thing as they exit turn 4.
Bedoya running all over the back bumper of the number 5 of David Day. Day right now currently leading with the 68. He's got a mirrorful of Marcio Bedoya. Bedoya right now in that number 68 machine. You just don't know where he's going to go. Bedoya can go high, he can go low, he can run through the middle. He's got a unique groove on the Texas Motor Speedway. A different line than most of these guys around the Speedway. Here comes Josh Metallic, and Bedoya has disappeared. I think the aliens may have abducted Bedoya on the track.
Alien sighting at the Texas World Speedway, a developing situation as Mauricio Bedoya, the pride of Bogota, Colombia, looks like may have had some kind of connection issue and now has fallen out of the ranks of the top 5, maybe out of this race altogether, as that'll turn the race lead over to David Day in that number 5. Josh Vitalik now up to 2nd, Chris Robbins 3rd. Ron Larkin Jr. has worked his way back to 4th for that number 2. Dave Melson rounds out the top 5 in the 13. Rick Moon is 6th. Chris Hardefielak 7th. Jesse Klein's 8th. Chuck McClure 9th. Gary Mingus having a good run out of it. He's in the 10th spot. Jeff Zupta now is 11th. Dave Robbins 12th. Wiley Cody's 13th. Rusty Little 14th. Carson Krenz now runs 15th. Zach Freemow back in 16th. David Lawson 17th. Brian Hogue is 18th. Jason Scheck is 19th. Donnie Garrett is 20th. 21st to Jeff Gravillo. Tony Fox is 22nd. Terry Balman's 23rd. Bedoya now 24th, 1 lap down. I believe he may have been able to get back connected and onto the speedway. 25th and out of the event, Dave Little. And 26th, Sean Prime was the first round of the event. As there's now contact on the racetrack. Contact, I believe it might be the 20 of Wiley Cody who is involved. That'll put us under yellow, number 6. And I believe also the 103 of Carson Krenz, Todd, may have also gotten a piece of that.
Yeah, I got to catch up with him there just a little bit, and I seen Carson Krenz plowing the number 20 machine. It just looked, well, it might have already happened. Carson Krenz had nowhere to go, and it looked like he was plowing the road with the 20. It looked like he had another truck attached to him on the front end of him, and it was interesting to see there. Smoke was all barreling out of both of his cars as Carson Krenz was trying to slow down, not to hit Wiley Cote that hard, and I think Cote and the 103 of Carson Krenz are going to be not so much damaged as I thought they were going to be.
Well, maybe not so much, Todd, but when you're traveling at these high speeds in these big packs, I can't imagine you hit something, it's not going to be a soft hit, so there's going to be some obvious damage there. Rich, I believe you're ready down there with the replay. Show us what happened.
Yeah, we're going to keep our eyes on the 20. That's that black truck right there with the green on the hood. We're going to keep an eye on him. We'll see what happens. It looks like something happened. He got a little loose on the rear end. Looks like he braked a little bit there and tried to correct it. As you can see, his nose dives just a little bit. But that's going to send him up into the field. And as soon as he caught the fender, that's going to send him around, pushes him straight up into the wall. Got up off the track in the rear end. Next thing you know, the 103 Carson going to push him through the grass. These guys are mowing the grass. Doesn't look like Carson's going to end up with too much damage there. It doesn't look like any solid hitting. Maybe just a little bit of bumping there, but the 20 and the 103 appear to be the only ones involved. Doesn't look like too much solid hitting, unless maybe the 20 of Cody got up into the wall, maybe a little bit hard. I don't know how much damage he's going to have, guys, but it looks like just the 20 and the 103 were involved in this one.
All right, well, that'll put us under yellow flag number 6. We're closing on the finish list and working lap number 57 of the 70 that make up this big main event, the Rolling Thunder Gaming All-Star Race, the 2015 edition from a Texas World Speedway, the high bank 2-mile D-shaped oval. It's been fast and furious here throughout this middle section of the race. 2 and 3 wide action up and down the leaderboard, and it's been frantic. One of the faster trucks, Todd, we had a developing situation for Bedoya in that number 68. Looks like he had maybe some kind of brief alien abduction, fell completely out of this race, and now has found himself back 2 laps down, back in that 24th position, believing he may get a wave around for a lucky dog, so that may put him 1 lap in the rears, but a tough break for that 68, Todd, who's looked like he's been maybe the class of this field tonight.
Yeah, tough break for him, and the aliens didn't want him. Obviously, they put him back onto the track, and the 68 of Marcio Bedoya now going to try to earn his laps back the hard way and try to see if he can get back up into the fray. It's tough. It's really tough. He's been fast all evening long. It's been interesting to watch Bedoya slice and dice his way through the field, and like I said earlier, he's got a distinct different line than everybody else here at the Texas World Speedway. He just got all kinds of momentum coming off the corner, and if somebody was to follow him, I think they could be able to do what he was doing.
Walt will have to monitor the progress of that 68 machine as working the 6th yellow flag of the night, now working lap number 58. If this takes one thing out of this equation, I believe fuel mileage is now out the window with just outside of a dozen laps to go. or so. So I believe you're going to see guys onto pit road for the last time tonight. Just that last splash of fuel, 4 fresh tires, trying to make that sprint up from the back of the front of the field. There's a lot of heavy hitters mired back in that traffic that we have not seen a lot of tonight. Guys like Chuck McClure, I can't imagine not going to see Chuck make his way up to the front. Zach Freeman, we've seen him run very competitive in this series here. He's won a couple of races here in the Barebone series, in this truck series they do over here at RTG. 5-time race winner on a Monday night. Zach's been running about mid-pack all night long. I can't imagine, Todd, that we're not going to see guys like that make that big dash from mid-pack and try to claim this checkered flag.
Yeah, I can't imagine that you're not going to see some of these guys. A lot of these guys, multiple-time winners. I got David Day with 14 wins between Bare Bones and the Aero 88. You've got Jeff Zupka with the number 11 machine. He has 6 wins. You got 7 wins from Sean Prime, who's out of this event, but you also got Josh Metallic. He's got 5 wins. He's got a championship in his pocket. You got Bedoya. Bedoya has 4 wins on the season, 3 in the Bare Bones Racing, and then 1 in the Aero 88. That might be over 2 seasons there, Phil. But a lot of these guys got multiple wins, and some of the guys that do have multiple wins, not here this evening, but there's tons of different winners here this season. That's what makes up this All-Star race, as the 68 of Bedoya is going to flash by the pace car. He is our lucky dog, and we're going to reset this field here with about 10 to go, Phil.
Going to be about 10 to go, and it has a very, very different look at the front of the field. Rusty Little, the 102, he's going to be out there with the race lead. Tony Fox, the 33, he's going to restart in that second spot. Terry Balman, the 69, good to see Terry up in the top 5. He's going to restart third. Rick Moon, that Harley-Davidson Chevrolet number 07, is going to restart fourth. Then you look back to that 5th place spot. Dave Melson, he's been up in the top 10 all night. And then you look, David Day, 6th. Chris Robbins, 7th. Josh Metallic, 8th. You know them guys have been fast all night long. A new look to this thing, Tyler, with about 10 laps to go. Interesting strategy play, a roll of the dice, if you will, for Rusty Little and Tony Fox.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be rolling the dice, but Tony Fox has won some races this year, too, and that number 33 machine, 102 Rusty Little, won some races. So we're going to have to see what happens here. A lot of different strategy calls amongst the top 5. So Terry Balman, another guy that I'm sure he's real hungry for. And Terry Balman in the number 69 machine, he's always knocking at the door each and every week, and we're going to have to see what Terry can provide here amongst this top 5. So it's going to be interesting to see. So a lot of different strategies up here. And I can't say that enough. How well these old tires are going to perform. That strategy might be off in the favor.
Man, I want to take that ride to victory lane if Terry gets to victory lane, because we don't hear Terry get very excited. You know, he doesn't get too animated too often. I'm sure if he was able to take the victory down in this All-Star race, it would get wild in victory lane, as I'm sure it would. But pace van is off. Green flags back in the air. All chasing race leader Rusty Little. He elected to restart in that outside lane. Tony Fox, the 33, he's going to restart down low. Side by side for the race leaders to hit turn 1.
Yeah, side by side for the race lead. David Day way up the track. He watched him way up the track. And then number 5 machine, I think he had a little bit of help there. Tough break for David Day. He's going to have to fall all the way back to the middle, to the tail end of this speedway. But the race for the lead starting to heat up. Here comes Terry Balman and that number 69 machine. He's going to make it through. Wow. Fox now going to fall back to the 3rd spot. Terry Balman. Here comes Rick Moon. He's going to set the sights on the 102 of Rusty Little.
Yeah, the unfortunate incident there was the 13 of Dave Melson. He was the victim of that 69 having to go down the hill. Dave had contact. He gathered it back up, and he was able to get back in line up to speed. He made contact with the 08 of Chris Robbins as they're 3 wide for 4th as they exit turn 2.
Yeah, 3 wide all the way through the field. Looks like there's contact being made all over. People door slamming each other. Here comes Rick Moon, battle for the lead. Moon down on the bottom side. Rusty Little on the top side in that 102 machine. Moon now door handle the door handle. Rick Moon trying to battle back, and Moon's going to get to that 1st spot. Here comes Terry Balman to 2nd, 3rd, Dave Melson, Rusty Little all by himself in that 102 machine. He is dropping through the field.
Yeah, Rusty's a guy with no dance partner in that high lane. Got drop kicked out of the race lead and now hoping to hold on to a spot up a rank amongst the ranks of the top 5. Now all chasing new race leader Rick Moon in the 07. He's got Terry Balman behind him hungry. Dave Melson into 13. Chris Robbins, the 08. He's been a player all night long. Little contact with the apron for the 08. Great driving with these guys all in position. Now they're going to be side by side for third, Todd, off turn 4.
Great save, but it looks like 08 of Robbins is around in front of the field and spinning through the grass. So far, clean and green, but Robbins through the grass. Going to have to see what kind of bill that's going to bring out. But no yellow flag for Chris Robbins through the field.
No yellow flag. There was some contact there between the 08 and the 13 of Dave Melson. Unfortunately for Chris Robbins, he's going to be on the wrong side of the stick there in the 08, as it looks like the gearbox has gone on the Chris Robbins machine. It's going to retire him from the event. No yellow flag on the speedway. Less than 10 laps to go. Now the yellow flag in the air. Looks like they're going to be racing back here to put 64 laps up on the board. And it looks like, Todd, Rick Moon is going to win the race back to the caution.
Yeah, Rick Moon is going to lead the race back in that number 07 machine. And then Terry Balman, Josh Metalik, Jesse Klein, Dave Melson, Chris Harder-Felix, Chuck McClure, Tony Fox, Gary Mingus, and Zach Freeman. That's your top 10 right now, Phil, at the Texas World Speedway. Yellow flag, number 7, is playing here at the Texas World Speedway. So we're going to have to see. Hopefully we can get back to green flag, at least a green-white checkered, or even a green checkered. That would be nice to see what had happened here.
I want to make a shout out to our YouTube chat box, all our viewers tonight of DRTV on YouTube. We've got just about 5 laps to go here. We're going to have a dash to this finish of this big all-star race over here for Rolling Thunder Gaming. I want to know your predictions. Who's going to pull this thing out? Who is going to be the guy in victory lane? Are we going to see this thing finish under green flag conditions? We've seen 7 yellow flags tonight, and we're going to have a mad scramble as we've seen here in this last little run of guys trying to vie for every inch position. So my challenge out to the YouTube chat box, I'm going to have Rich take a look at it here in a couple of minutes. Tell us what you're thinking. But, Rich, I know you're ready with that replay, so down to you in the booth.
Yeah, most definitely, guys. We're going to keep our eyes on the 41 and the 17. The 17 is going to be Jason Scheck, and he's going to get the bad side of this one. It looks like the 17's coming down. Looks like the 41 might have came up as well. 41's going to make contact, as you can see right there past our scoring tower. That's going to send Scheck up into the wall, hits the rear end. He's going to spin it around, keep it on all 4 rubbers. Doesn't look like anybody else is behind him, so nobody else is going to be involved in this one. But Scheck is definitely going to have some damage on his vehicle now. I'm getting reports that David Day is now out because of a gearbox, and I'm also getting reports that I believe the 18 went across the backstretch in the grass, and also we had one more go across the grass on the infield. So pretty amazing with like 4 incidents actually happened back to back, and it took the 4th one to actually pull the caution, guys. So very, very crazy ending coming up here, I think.
Well, looks like this caution's going to claim a couple there as Ron Larkin Jr. in that number 2 has pulled that thing behind the wall. Looks like that thing's going to be done for the night. David A, as you said, Rich, also retired now. Looks like a gearbox the issue there for the 5 camp, and also the 08 of Chris Robbins, a gearbox there. We saw him slide through the grass. Maybe did something there, breaking the shifter on that slide through, so that's going to put them out of the event as well. But Todd, don't look now, the 68 of Bedoya going to be the benefactor of the lucky dog here with less than 5 laps to go. He's going to restart probably about that 20th position. We know he's been fast. I think he may make it exciting before this thing is out.
Yeah, I think he will. I think he'll make it up through the field. I don't know if he can get to your leaders or the top 5, but he's going to try. I know he'll give it a good old college try in that number 68 machine, and we'll have to see how Bedoya can make his way up through this field, Phil. Just going to have to see.
So I'll keep an eye on that as our race leaders here working lap number 66 here. Now 5 laps to go in the All-Star race for RTG. Rick Boone is out in the race lead. Terry Balman is 2nd. Josh Metalik 3rd. Jesse Klein's 4th. Dave Melson is 5th. Chris Harder-Felix 6th. Chuck McClure 7th. Gary Mingus is 8th. Jeff Crivello is 9th. Rusty Little is 10th. Carson Krentz is 11th. Wiley Cody is 12th. David Lawson's going to be 13th. Zach Freeman 14th. Tony Fox 15th. Donnie Garrett 16th. Dave Robbins 17th. Jeff Zupta now back to 18th. 19th finisher. Looks like it's going to be Brian Hogue who's pulled that thing behind the wall. Also Jason Scheck. He's pulled his machine behind the wall. He's going to finish up 20th. So, Todd, it looks like there's going to be right around 20 trucks when we recycle back to Bedoya. Going to make for an exciting finish here. Less than 5 laps to go. I believe the DRTV pace fan lights are still on, so it just makes that anticipation simmer just a little bit more.
Indeed it does, and we're going to have to see what happens here with Rick Moon. Rick Moon, remember, he finished second in the Open. If you guys did not tune into the Open, I suggest you go back and review the Open here. We had the All-Star Open right before this. 3 cars did qualify from that Open to this event, and they said we take the Open without them guys actually knowing. So that was a kudos to the Rolling Thunder Gaming League for bringing the rest of the guys. So none of them went home, but Rick Moon was putting on a whale of a show there towards the end, almost won the thing with the 112 with Chris Harder Felix winning the All-Star Open. So Rick Moon has had some more track time than some of these guys behind him. I wonder how much of a key factor that is as he was running out there in the open field. He had 30 extra laps than some of these guys.
If you look amongst the ranks of the top 10, you find Rick Moon, you find Jesse Klein, Chris Harder Felix, Chuck McClure, Gary Mingus. Those 5 guys have all been in that 30-lap dash race, so maybe some experience thing on the setup may be a benefactor here. Rich, what say you?
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I'm a little bit focused down here on the chat box on our YouTube channel right now. I'm watching these guys starting to discuss what they think is going to go on, and so far I'm hearing that Josh Metallic is in a good spot right now, and there's quite a few looking for him. I know Terry's right there as well, so I don't think this is over yet. And you YouTube watchers out there, all of the DRTV race fans watching this show, this race is about to come to an end. I want to see that chat box fire it up. Who's going to take down the checkered flag and win this event? So I'm keeping an eye on you guys. Let's see what's about to happen as these guys head down the backstretch one more time.
Well, let's catch our breath and keep our eye on here. I think the pace band lights are going to go out this time around. That's going to turn the field back over to Rick Moon and Terry Balman on the front row, as we're going to have, I believe, Todd, about a 3-lap shootout. Can those front 2 guys hold on these hungry pack of guys? Can guys like Josh Metallic, Jesse Klein, Dave Melson, Chris Harder Felix, can they get to the race lead? That DRTV pace fan, Todd, has found its way to pit road, and we're going to come to the conclusion. Green flag's back in the air. Rick Moon is down. Loud pedal is down. But here comes Terry Balman. And that number 69, he may be the guy in the catbird seat. Now here comes Josh Metallic. 3 wide for the race lead as they hit turn 1.
Terry Balman in the 69 working over the bottom side around the number 07 Rick Moon. There momentarily coming down the back straightaway. He is on older tires. Here comes Josh Metallic in that number 39 machine. He's trying to work it over. Here comes Chris Harder Felix up through the middle with Jesse Klein there working with him. Klein right now trying to push the number 112 of Chris Harder Felix. The 07 Rick Moon almost pushing the wall. Terry Balman coming down. Believe to get it here, the 2-lap to go signal in that number 69 machine.
2 laps to go. 3 laps to go. 2 laps to go, rather. 69 laps of the 70 up on the board. Terry Balman now the race leader as they hit turn number 1. Josh Metallic right there in his wheel tracks in that second spot. Here comes Chris Harder Felix. That Miller High Life Ford, he's going to try to pull alongside of Metallic. They're going to be side by side for second. Josh all over the rear bumper of Terry as they hit turn 3.
All over the rear bumper, you see Jesse Klein is trying to push it. Josh Metallic right there behind the 69 of Terry Balman, pushing to the win. Harder Felix door slams the 39 of Josh Metallic. The 112 of the 112 of Harder Felix racing hot and heavy for that second position. Here comes the 57 of Jesse Klein. We got wrecking going on. His yellow flag's going to fly as we're going to get the checkered flag here with the yellow flag, but Terry Balman leading him down the back straightaway.
Race for the last time in the back straightaway into turn number 3 for the final time. Terry Balman, the 69 with the lead. Here comes Josh Metallic to the high stage. Jesse Klein trying to fill a gap off of turn number 4. Looks like Terry Balman Todd's going to pull it off, and he's going to take down the win of a 2015 RTG All-Star race.
Wow, and they're wrecking across the start-finish line, and Jesse Klein in the 57 pulls off second, but Harder Felix was sideways across the line in that 112 machine, and he went for a ride. The 39, Josh Metallic, going to finish fourth. Chuck McClure going to finish fifth. Six is the number 103 of Carson Krins. Bedoya, look at Bedoya. Look where he finished, Phil. Seventh in the 68 machine. Zupka in the number 11 machine. Zach Fremont and Riley Cote. That rounds out your top 10, but the win goes down to the number 69 of Terry Balman on an interesting strategy aboard that number 69 machine. That victory lane is going to be ecstatic for the number 69 of Terry Balman.
Wow, what an incredible race it was. Wow, I don't know how many other words you can describe that finish. That was absolutely incredible. Terry Balman able to take down the race win in that number 69 machine. I can't imagine that he's not going to be tickled to death. I know Rich is making that sprint down to victory lane to get a word with our race winner, who's out there burning it down. They're doing a victory lap. Salutes off to Terry Balman, the All-Star race winner over here tonight at Rolling Thunder Gaming, and that's going to be a popular win, Todd, for sure.
Yeah, indeed, it's going to be a popular win in the number 69 machine. Terry Balman, congratulations to Terry Balman taking down the win here for the All-Star race. The cream of the crop is now he's coming down the front straightaway. Looks like he's going to try. Oh, he hits the wall and tumbles. What an interesting celebration by the 69 of Terry Balman. I hope Rich got all that on TV as Terry Balman slams the inside wall and rolled over 3 or 4 times. They're just kind of lazy rolled over, but the 69 of Terry Balman. Interesting celebration there at the end.
A really interesting celebration for the 69. He's going to make that walk down to victory lane there. The race winner, Terry Balman, the number 69, RTG Zone, going to take down the win tonight here for the All-Star race here. A 2015 edition from the Texas World Speedway. We'll see if we can't get a word with our top 3 finishers. That was absolutely a wild finish. We'll see if we can't catch up with third place finisher, that being the winner of the All-Star Open here just a little while ago, and that's Chris Harder-Felix in that number 112. Chris had a great run of it out there tonight, able to pick up the win earlier on. You were out there in the catbird seat, runner-up spot when that white flag fell on that outside line, coming up 2 positions short, but I'm sure you're happy with a good run tonight.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy. That was a pretty intense finish there.
We're still catching our breath up here. I mean, it was wild and crazy up there all night long, and you were right up in the fray there, mixing it up there in that number 112. You had a really, really fast truck tonight. We've seen that during the Open there, that green flag run for 30 laps, and you qualified that thing mid-pack and able to put that thing up near the front of the field all night long. What was it like out there? It looked wild and crazy up in the booth. I can't imagine it was not also on the racetrack.
It was wild and woolly, especially on these restarts. Some guys are sliding a little bit, and you can pass people. You can pass people high or low.
Yeah, it looks like you really could get a run in either lane. You were one of the few guys to be able to make that run work off that high lane. I thought they're getting to the white flag. Maybe you just had enough to maybe get to Terry's outside and maybe clear him into turn 3, but said come up 2 positions short, and unfortunate for you, but congratulations, Chris. Overall, you had a great night. Said took down a checker flag just a little while ago and end up on the podium here in this All-Star race. I'm sure you're pretty excited, and you have a lot of people to thank for that.
Yeah, Phil, I tried that high line, man, but there was nobody behind me at that moment. Everybody went down low, and I didn't have no push or no help up there. But, yeah, I just thank RTG, MSR, Terry, Sean Prime for putting on this race. You guys do a great job of broadcasting. And personally, I had a lot of fun out there racing from the back to the front. And overall, I thought it was a pretty damn good race tonight.
Well, absolutely was. That's Chris Harder-Felix able to bring that Miller High Life Ford home in that 3rd spot tonight, Todd. I know you're down there waiting, chomping at the bit there. I believe you've caught up with our runner-up finisher tonight, that being Jesse Klein in that number 57. So, Todd, down to you.
Yeah, indeed. I've caught up with the driver of the number 57. Is having that Chevy Silverado, Jesse Klein. Jesse, that was a whale of a show there at the end to come up there second. You were running right there, and you put on some amazing passes to get to that 2nd spot there.
Yeah, we definitely had to work for it tonight. We had some issues in the open event and made it to the main and got in trouble early with the 41 and got into them. I apologize for that. But yeah, we had to work our way from the back and it took a lot, that's for sure.
Yeah, tell us about. We had a question all evening long. Clean air versus dirty air. Did it seem to matter when you got into clean air or even dirty air for that matter? Did the setup change a little bit when you got into that dirty air? Did it push more?
I pushed a little more, but it was more mostly trying to be on that bottom side. That low line was where it was. You had to try and keep it down there and not overdrive it into the corner or you're going to push up into everybody. So it was a little bit of both, but that low line was definitely what you were looking for throughout the race. And that's where I tried to stay.
Well, you haven't made it on DRTV that much, or maybe this is even your first time, I believe, here on DRTV as far as getting in the top three for yourself, Jesse. But I'm going to let you have the floor. You can thank whoever you want to thank that got you here, and any shout-outs you want. The microphone and the floor is all yours.
Yeah, I just want to thank all the guys at RTG for putting these on. It's my first time in the winner's circle, not the winner's circle, but top three on DRTV, so I want to thank y'all for coming out and doing this. It's a blast. Give a shout out to my Insomniac Motorsports, my home league that I run, and we're happy to bring it home second. Wish we could have got to them for the win, but after the night we had, we'll take second.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's a driver, Jesse Klein, in the number 57. He takes home second here this evening. I'm going to throw it down to Mr. TV Time, Rich Patton, who I believe has an ecstatic Terry Balman down there in victory lane.
Yeah, you guys, I'm down here. I fought my way through this crowd. You guys would not believe the crowd down here in Victory Circle. Who would have thought? Terry, the biggest event of the season. And, you know, I know we got to hang out with you a little bit earlier, chat during intermission, chat with you a little bit, you know, tonight. I'm shocked, buddy. You won this thing. How do you feel?
Oh my God, I can't believe it. I haven't had to drive that hard in a long time.
Oh, I could
It's
just
like,
imagine. You know, we're sitting here up in the booth, and I'm watching Josh behind you. I'm watching Chris on the outside, and I'm trying to figure out in my own head while I'm, you know, keeping things under control down here. I'm thinking, this is not good. You're a sitting duck up front, and then it almost looked like Josh made the decision to help you and keep you up there, and that kind of shut Chris down a little bit. I mean, it was a lot of exciting racing. I'm sure you were white knuckling it in there.
oh, I was more than that. The last 10 laps of the race, I had back spasm so bad that I couldn't hardly move. I almost pulled it in the last caution, and yeah, I was trying to, at the end of the straightaways, move up a little bit to keep Chris next to Josh so that Josh could push me off the corners.
Yeah, 10-4, probably a very smart move tonight. Chris Hartofelax, you know, he won that earlier. We all saw that happen. He knows his way around this track, and I mean, there was a lot of crazy stuff going on tonight that, you know, had the race fans out on the edge of their seat. You know, I know we had a few cautions or whatever, but when the racing was good, and you guys put on one heck of a show tonight. An excellent finish. I don't know what else to say to you, but congratulations, buddy. The floor is all yours. Have at it.
Oh, first off, I gotta kind of thank and apologize to Rick Moon. I spun my tires on that last restart, but apparently so did he, and we straightened each other out. And Josh, he was a huge help that last run there, and I guess the biggest thank I have to give to is Sean Prime for putting this event together. He put in countless hours putting everything together. I did the graphics for him, but he did all the work. And then you guys always do a phenomenal job. Everybody at RTG, and thanks to all the drivers that make this league. I mean, you seen tonight there was some awesome racing. Most of the race I was in the middle of the back. And thanks to a little bit of strategy, I got up front there at the end. And yeah, I'm ecstatic right now.
Well, 10-4, I hear that. Well, I'm going to go ahead and let you get back to partying. I know you got a big crowd down here around you and a lot of guys to thank, and I'm sure your league members all want to congratulate you just as much. You know, when the league gets as big as RTG is and everything that you put together for everybody out there, you know, a race like this is really important, and it means a lot to someone like you, I'm sure. So hats off to you. I'm going to let you get back to your crew down there. I'm going to hang out down here with you and send this back up to the guys in the booth to close us out for tonight. And, you know, guys up in the booth, I don't know what to tell you. One heck of a race, and I'm glad Terry won this thing. He's the right guy to win it tonight.
Oh, you Rich, you couldn't have said that better. It's so awesome to see. Terry takes so good care of us when we come over here to RTG, and often a lot of times he sits on the sidelines. He'll oversee these races, make sure they go off smooth. Him and Dave and all the boys, Sean, Josh, everybody over here at RTG always do a bang-up job, and no doubt tonight, Todd, it's going to be a popular win. Good to see Terry Balman in victory lane, but you know, you look at the race overall, I mean, the whole night, the All-Star Open was a phenomenal race. You know, it was a good show. Clean and green, 30 laps. This race, you know, the drama lived up to it. The high speeds at the Texas World Speedway. 2-3 wide racing all night long. Yeah, we did have that 8th yellow flag that ended the race, but, you know, there was action all over the Speedway.
Yeah, indeed. We had 8 cautions for 28 laps, 23 lead changes among 12 drivers, and that doesn't even count how many lead changes we had all around the Speedway. The 69 of Terry Balman takes down the win, and he started 26 on the field, Phil. 25 positions. Terry Balman led the last 3 laps of the event. Jesse Klein finishes second. Chris Harder-Felix third. Fourth was Josh Metallic, Chuck McClure fifth. Sixth was Carson Krins, Marcio Bedoya. In that number 68 machine, he climbed his way all the way back up to the 7th position, restarting 20th after getting that last lucky dog. 8th is Jeff Zupka in that number 11 machine. 9th, the 6 of Zach Fremont. Wiley Cote is 10th. 11th was Jeff Corvello. 12th, Donnie Garrett. 13th, Gary Mingus. 14th, Tony Fox. David Lawson was 15th. 16th, Rick Moon. 17th, Rusty Little. 18th, Dave Robbins. Dave Melson, 19th. Brian Hogue, 20th. 21st, Jason Scheck. Ron Larkin Jr. finishes 22nd. 23rd was Chris Robbins. 24th was David Day, Dave Little, 25th, and Sean Prime rounded out your 26 truck field here from the Texas World Speedway. Phil, great show. 3-4 wide. Fantastic racing once again here with the Rolling Thunder Gaming, and I can't wait to come back here again.
I know. I can't wait to get back in the broadcast booth over here at RTG. It's always a great time. I mean, this first class, all the information they provide for us to make this show what it is here on DRTV. We're just so thankful for all the good work they do and all the great leagues out there. And, of course, you'd like to get your league on DRTV. DRLRacing.com is the home of DRTV. We have a lot of great things coming up for you. We're going to be back here live Thursday evening. We're going to make another visit over to Blazing Pedals. It's Noble 5 night at Blazing Pedals. They're going to have a Noble 5 race on the Darlington Speedway. That should make for an awesome race Thursday night. That is coming up on our calendar. And also a couple of weeks there on a Saturday night, we're going to check back in over the DRTV Premier Cup Series. We haven't been over there in quite a little while. We're going to update everybody what's going on with our flagship series as well. So we'll pay a visit to that over the month of September as well and follow that as all is happening over there as part of that DRTV Premier Cup Series. So on behalf of my broadcast partners, Mr. TV Time, Rich Patton in the booth, Too Tall Todd Stanton, my name is Phil Lacasse. You want the best of Sim Race TV? You do have it right here. Thank you for watching on DRTV.
Do you want to go to heaven tonight? Leave the evidence far behind. Say, all right.